Up in the morning, throw the light outside. Gonna grab a cup of joe. Convertible down, let's go for a ride. There's a party on the radio. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and wow, Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike. Yeah. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and wow, Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike.
All right, good morning. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It's Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the Zone Radio Network. I'm Connor Happer alongside Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola. Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Connor. Good morning, Mike. And good morning, Omaha.
Good morning, Omaha.
Whoa, that's a new addition.
Yeah.
Good morning, Joey. Good morning, Connor.
Good morning, the world, everyone.
There you go.
Because we can be heard all over the world via our awesome new app. The reviews keep rolling in on the awesome new app, by the way. Everybody likes the new app, which is good. But yes, it is a Tuesday, fresh off of the Home Run Derby tonight, the Midsummer Classic in Philadelphia, the 250th year of America, and the birthplace, I guess, of America, or I don't know, something like that. That's where
They have the bell. They have
do
the
it.
bell at the
There were
at the city.
There were some historical events that happened in Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, they had the First Continental Congress there. I'm pretty sure
Thank
that's
you.
where the Declaration of Independence was initially signed. Ben Franklin was heavily involved in Philadelphia. Yes, it's a historical city for sure.
Which All-Star game is this? I like how they always say what number of All-Star game it is. We got to be in the mid 90s, don't we? Is it they used to mention this more frequently, like it's the 96, the Midsummer Classic.
96 Midsummer Class. It is actually.
It is 96?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I figured we were in the mid 90s. We're getting close to 100.
You know, that is really impressive. So 1930 was the first ever All-Star game. I assume that, well, is it 29? Because then they would have skipped a year
20.
in there. Yeah, 2020 would have gotten skipped. There was no All-Star game.
Yeah, I guess we didn't have an All-Star game in 20. No, it
No,
started
the
in
season
August.
Started.
Yeah.
What a weird year.
Great times. Excellent times.
Fantastic. And it still ends with Kevin Cash and the Rays doing something stupid. and not-
Awesome. Let's pull
not
Blake
winning
Snell out of the
their,
game with a
yeah.
sixth inning. or
We
fifth
got to
inning.
save him. So when he eventually pitches for the Dodgers someday, he's got slightly more tendon left in his forearm.
Exactly. Well, Kevin Cash won't have to worry about managing the All-Star team tonight.
Or I'm betting the World Series.
But the Home Run Derby rocked last night.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed I did not get to watch any of it.
Oh no! What
I
happened?
know. I just had other work stuff going on and other things going on, and so I just ended up missing out on it. It was fun going through social media last night and seeing people like have their initial takes of this is on Netflix, this is going to be terrible, and then
It was a little disappointing that was
They're
on Netflix.
terrible.
but then eventually, like the format, there was, they've changed the format. Oh, it's this. Oh, and then eventually they let the event happen, and then the event entertained them,
Yeah.
and all of the like ancillary stuff that was concerning before the event or as the event initially had started faded to
That's
the
how
back.
it usually goes.
Yeah, well, normally when we allow the sport to be played, we tend to remember why we like the sport in the first place.
I do think it was hurt by the fact that it was on Netflix, because I still am not sure that Netflix knows how to run a live sports broadcast.
Okay.
Like just from a technical standpoint, I'm sure they have great people in charge. But I mean, this comes with time and repetition and all these different things. It was odd that their presentation of it, I thought, was odd. We can't, for as many times and as many different things as we've done in the Home Run Derby, whether it's rules or whatever it might be, we haven't figured out what the right camera angle is. And so the right thing, according to technical directors all across the country, to do has been to change it rapidly every 2 seconds. We have to change it. We have to jump cut to another camera angle. And in my opinion, I wouldn't be sad if there was a channel that just only had the the side angle of like it's barely off kilter to the side behind home plate. If they had that so you could watch the ball majestically fly over the fence and into the upper deck as, you know, Kyle Schwarber and others hit them last night, and obviously Jordan Walker won it, I think that would be awesome. We haven't figured that out yet as a society. And Netflix was doing this weird thing where they had like 2 broadcast crews simultaneously going on at the same time. You had like Vescursion was on the main call, and then they, for a batter, like the second batter, whoever it was, they like let L. Duncan and Barry Bonds and Albert Pujols just like talk over the entire thing. And I was like, what's going on? It was somehow I thought the home run derby, the rules were made for it to be sort of less like disorienting and less everywhere.
But the
broadcast brought that back. So nice job.
You
Netflix.
mentioned something that I've long wondered when it'll eventually happen, because somebody will make this a thing where they have the technical ability to allow people to determine what camera angles they want for a specific sporting event. And so this happens a lot when Nebraska volleyball is on and they do the baseline view.
Yeah.
And
people hate that.
My wife loses her mind. Like every time. It's like a mailman walking by and the dog in the yard just absolutely cannot contain itself.
People hate that.
That is my wife when the baseline view comes on for volleyball. And admittedly,
it doesn't bother me.
I don't care for
enough.
it. Like I don't. I wish they wouldn't
change it so much, but I it doesn't bother me.
It is not my preference. I don't ever really need it. I don't think it enhances the experience. Whatever. However, I'm assuming the person in the truck or whatever, there's a reason that they want to do it.
Yeah,
fine. So for someone like her, she would just want it fixed on the primary broadcast, would never touch it. But then there's people that are like, oh, I kind of want a high angle in on this so I can see what it looks like as they come down on top of it. Or, I'd like a tracking camera that kind of loops around everything. Like eventually there's going to be some sort of you-produced broadcast.
That's true, yeah.
That we are going to be able
you could be your own TD. That's awesome.
Because there's going to be so many cameras everywhere that people will be able to track and pick their experience.
Okay, that is fascinating. I am. You've
intrigued. Never thought about this?
No.
That amazes me.
No, I haven't.
Sorry, Dana.
I
don't think I'm that cutting edge over here. This has to have been things that people have thought about before.
Well, it would be fun for a variety of different reasons. I think first and foremost, so that people would realize instantly that it's very difficult to be a technical director of a broadcast.
Yeah.
And it's hard to figure out.
And there's no going back. So if you're screwing around with the camera and you miss it, you miss it. Yeah. Now, maybe there's you could press a replay button and then you can get your own. Now, that's something I would love to have, whether it's during college basketball. I get really mad about this. College football, I get mad about the lack of replays or when they choose to show replays or what they choose. And some of it is that when live action is on, nobody wants a replay. You don't want the split screen or whatever else. I get that. It's when you're going to a break and you don't take it to a replay, or when there's clearly a stoppage in the action and you don't go to a replay. It just blows my mind sometimes.
Sometimes they don't have it.
Well, I assume most of the time they don't have it. But then I get mad because it's your job is to have it.
Yep.
And my assumption is there's a million cameras everywhere.
You're at the mercy of what you get.
I know.
And you're at the mercy of the cameras that you have. Sometimes you only have 3 cameras for a sporting event, and you expect this, grand broad. That would be hilarious just to watch people freak out and say, actually, why don't you guys take control of it again? Yep. Just if they did it for one day for one sporting event, be your own technical director, and everyone would say, actually, I don't think so after the event.
I think baseball would be fascinating because of the different camera angles, because the traditional one from the outfield is what you're so used to.
All of the imperceptible cuts that they make that we just expect when we watch a baseball game, right when the ball is hit, it's changing.
Yeah.
Right. And you just you wouldn't think about that if you were doing it for the first time. So
was it the I think you were gone. I think it was we were all making fun of BTN's Big Ten coverage because their inability to switch the camera when the ball was hit to
for
track it
baseball
during the Big Ten tournament here in Omaha.
Great.
And it was like, yeah, you would have had some experience with this had you covered games throughout the year.
Do a couple
I
baseball
know in
games.
lacrosse, you're not as worried about this. You can wide angle a lot of things.
That's true. You could do a single camera on a lacrosse game and be good.
But in baseball, when the ball is impacted, generally people want to know the direction in which it's going and not randomly taking the left field when it was at the right.
Josh from Omaha says in recent years in football, they've done a better job of not focusing in on the tackle box and the quarterback as often. However, I do like the behind the quarterback view to see what he sees. I like that as a replay. I love that as a replay angle. And the home run derby last night, that little view that I was talking about behind and off kilter they had the great shot of the night. I thought was what, even though he lost on the last swing by Jordan Walker, Schwarber, it's basically looking out at right field from down low. And so when Schwarber, you see the contact is center screen, like the barrel is center screen. You could see the ball's flight all the way up, and you could see the upper deck as well.
Cool. Yeah.
Great shot. Incredible shot. So this is part of bringing in these new entities to broadcast sports. Sure. I don't know if Netflix is going to get this again next year. They do have they were promoting it anyway. I think they have the Field of Dreams game.
Yes.
In a couple of weeks. Yep.
They signed a deal for a handful of things from Major League Baseball. I mean, Major League Baseball took a page right out of the Big Ten where it's like, we're going to give a little here. We're going to give a little here.
Yeah.
We're going to give the first 12 picks of the Major League Baseball draft over here.
To be determined if that actually does anything for the sport or for its viewers.
I think it really largely only exists to annoy people.
Yeah.
Now, they do a really good job if you're an MLB TV subscriber where you sort of have access to a lot of stuff. Individual games, not on everything.
I love that. I love what they've done with
MLB
the streaming
Network out of it, which is great if you're a YouTube subscriber because they just dropped MLB Network and basically said,
correct.
Yeah, we're never paying for that. Yep. So good luck.
Sad.
Which is nice because you and I are dorks and we like MLB Network.
I do.
And so there's certain things where it's worked out pretty well for it. But yeah, I mean, they have games on Apple, they have games on Peacock, they have games on Fox, they have games on regular NBC, they have games on Netflix, and they have games on ESPN or whatever that is.
So they went the Big Ten's way.
They're
great
like,
idea.
Hey, you know what, Big Ten? You stopped at 3. We're going to 7.
So we'll see if that one. Works out for them. But outside of the presentation of the entire thing, which will happen with time, I suppose. Even though we've been doing it for a while now, we haven't exactly figured it out.
I have a question.
The real changes were terrific.
So we know that. Well, I don't know if he actually did it, but our young coworker sat here in this exact spot where my left hand would be and said he was going to watch The Bourne Identity last night. Do you think he had more jump cuts or the Home Run Derby had more jump cuts? Because I bet it's still Bourne Identity, the most ADD movie that was ever made. Seriously sucks because of how it was filmed.
Let's see. Did he tweet anything about it?
He was watching the Home Run Derby, so he was not watching the movie.
Well, I mean, he could have ripped it off after.
I guess he has 2 TVs, so he could have had one. But Matt doesn't strike me, one, that he can pay attention to a movie as it is anyways. And 2, having a movie and a sporting event going on at the same time seems impossible.
And with all those cuts. I mean, just think about it. That's like an average of 2.6 cuts per second. I did not like The Bourne Identity
because of all of those cuts.
No, I mean, they're like kind of, you know what the movies are there for.
Yeah. They're not for me. That's what I know.
Yeah. I'm going to say no. He did not watch The Bourne Identity.
I'll also say no. We'll find out at about 9:50.
And I know that wasn't the question, but I would imagine that actually the Home Run Derby had more cuts.
I'm going to go with Bourne Identity because it allows me to continue what I believe.
And then we had the rules,
which is what's most important about anything.
Last night in baseball's Home Run Derby, which allowed for 20 swings in the first round, and then 10 swings in the semifinals, and then 15 swings in the finals, I believe it was.
Yeah, I was, as someone who tracked it because I couldn't watch it. I really need to put a TV in my office because I'm able to just have it on. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh man, they ran out of steam in the semifinals, and then it's like, oh no, they had less opportunity.
So I thought what by the way, my stance in the home run derby is this, and I tweeted this out yesterday because I saw that like the home run derby festivities sort of get kicked off with the Major League Baseball's top, like most known reporter, breaking news guy, Jeff Passan, going on TV and saying, I think the derby is going to suck tonight. So
did you see his tweet last night?
He was like, I'm an idiot, which, good job on him for owning up to
I like
it.
Jeff Passan a lot.
I do too. But he started off the night last night by saying, I think this thing is going to suck. And I'm like, all right, hang on. It's going to be long. By the way, it wasn't nearly as long as I thought it was going to be. It only went till about 10. It's about
started at 7.
It was a little after. It's probably like slightly less than 3 hours.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
Still less than probably only the 6th inning of a Yankees Red Sox game, even with the new rules.
Honestly, I think it was probably shorter than last year's with all the timing stuff that they had in there. Those things drug on too. And so he's like, I think it's gonna suck. I think it's gonna be boring and whatever. And I'm like, all right, hang on. It's gonna be long, but I do like this readjustment, and maybe this is a baseball wide thing here. This sort of readjustment that we've had of there was this really big push to make the game shorter and faster and quicker and all those different things and make the pace go faster. And it certainly accomplished that. And now there's been this sort of push, this movement to say, we don't have to push the pedal all the way down to the floor on those type of things, whether it's in the game. And then we have the home run derby. And so you saw last night, the game, the event, and we're talking about a home run derby here. It's not important, but we saw it breathe a little bit. Guys were taking pitches. They were taking breaths. They were taking laps. They weren't.
Sounds like Philly didn't love Wilson Contreras.
They were not afforded the opportunity to, get out of the box and have a drink of Gatorade delivered by Juan Soto or anything like that. But they did, take their time, which is good. I thought the event breathed a little bit. Honestly, I thought they could have done less swings in the first round.
Okay.
Like you could have done 10 or 15, and then you're not going to see as many home runs. But man, above all, what I want from that, the number one priority of what I want from the home run derby is for guys to hit the ball as far as it could possibly go. And I want to make an environment conducive to making that experience happen for me, watching on television. And the more swings they take, the less far they're going to hit it. Yeah. So there's a give and take there. And I don't know what the happy medium is, but I think we got close to it last night.
Who hit the furthest home run?
Contreras, I think. The first batter, 490.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody hit 5, huh?
I don't think so.
I saw Caminero had, for all of his first round home runs, everyone but one was like an exit velocity over 110 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the baseball just didn't have as much carry for these, because some of these were absolutely
it
bombed.
Felt like it was going better to left than right, which is weird.
Which some of it's environmental, right?
Yeah.
So every stadium, it's going to play differently based on sort of the wind tunnels and everything else. I've never been to Citizens Bank. It's one of the handful I've actually never been to.
Lovely park.
Philadelphia, one of the few cities I've never actually been to. And
big parking lot.
Would like to.
It has all
coming from a Royals guy.
It has all 3 of the venues in one parking lot.
No kidding.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's weird.
I don't like that.
It has the Eagles, and then the Flyers.
I kind of want my stuff separated.
They're all just in a line right there.
I wonder if they like that.
I don't know.
Do you care that Arrowhead is right there? It won't be in the future, but
right. It doesn't
matter. Even be
matter
in the same state.
It doesn't matter one way or the other.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I think I like when stuff is. It can all be in the same general area, but I like when it has its own sort of thing.
My boy Jack Caglione, he really got off to a slow start, but then his moment was his upper decker, which. They only marked it as 463 or something like that. Yeah, 477. His one to the upper deck last night that had Bobby Witt Jr. losing his mind in the waiting area. That was his moment. So if that was the best swing I watched by a Kansas City Royal this year, then I'm glad it happened. Thank you, Jack. You hit a 480-foot home run at the upper deck at Philly.
Do you, and I looked this up, you have seen 4 different Royals in your lifetime be in the home run derby.
Whoa.
Do you know how many there have been overall?
5.
Nope, 7.
Okay. Jeez.
They all make sense except for one guy, and the guy and he's a name that I know.
So remember Bob did it a couple years ago.
Yep. So in 2020, nobody's ever been a repeat person.
Okay.
So there are 7 different people.
Jeez. Okay. All right. Here we go.
4 of which you should know.
Hosmer.
No. Never.
Hosmer didn't do it.
You're thinking of the
Hosmer
wrong
won All-Star game.
You're
MVP.
thinking of a different teammate of his.
Mustakis did it.
It's okay. So there you go. You have 3 of them.
Yep. With Cags. Boy. And then we go even earlier than that.
Mustakis was the first in your lifetime to do it.
Mustakis was the first in my lifetime to do it.
Mhm.
Yikes. Steve Balboni.
No.
Did George Brett do it?
George Brett, yeah, 1985.
That's weird.
Not a home run hitter, but he was in the home run derby.
Bo Jackson, obviously.
Bo Jackson, yes.
Yeah.
So you're going to get to, there's 2 left. One ranks very highly on your personal player hall of, or like Mount Rushmore, I assume.
Okay.
Even though he's maybe not highly this year.
Wait, I thought you said
There's one more that you need to get for the players in your lifetime. You have 3 of the 4.
Oh. He's not having Salvi.
Yep, there you go. So that's the 4th.
Wow.
And then the one guy that you wouldn't probably guess if I gave you as many guesses as possible, Danny Tartable.
Danny Tartable. Nice.
Who finished 2nd in 1991. Bobby Witt also runner-up. So 2 different people.
Yeah, he hit a bunch of home runs in like a short bit, but he was gaming the system. He was just like slapping it over the fence, which eventually that's kind of what it becomes. But of course, the great part about what do we find out?
Stupid. They tell you 7, and then they give you 6 names, meaning Caglione would be the other one, right? It's actually 8, and Steve Balboni was in it.
I would have got it.
They have a different thing that goes down there, and it says the only champion, and then give him his own little carve out. AI's dumb. Just give me the information I ask for. I don't need the rest of it.
It's bad.
So Steve Balboni won it in 1985. Okay, so
what a year!
That was the first year of the home run derby. I didn't know that either.
Wow,
home run derby is 41 years old.
Okay, what a year!
Look at that.
The Royals won the World Series.
They win a World Series. They win a home run derby.
Tremendous.
Exciting stuff.
All right, so that was the derby last night. Of course, it ended very dramatically with the crowd behind Schwarber as he goes to the finals, and you thought he had hit enough with 11, and then Jordan Walker comes up and he's just getting booed the entire time. It was incredible. It was almost as good of a booing performance as booing Robinson Cano out of the 2012 home run derby in Kansas City.
Reference that.
Almost as good, Philly. Nice job, but it didn't work. Walker got to his last, and it was only the first or only the second time all night where a guy, because the round couldn't end on a home run.
Had to end on an out.
So he got to the last one, and he had 0 swings left.
A literal walk-off.
And he hit the winner last night. So that was pretty cool. Now tonight, the 96th MLB All-Star Game, which has no stakes whatsoever. How will Rob Manfred ruin this time? Find out tonight on Fox. Today on the show, Mitch Sherman will join coming up at 8:30. Chris McGowan is the new coach of the Omaha Supernovas. He'll join us in studio coming up at 9 today. Jacob Padilla will join us right after that. That is our lineup today. We want to hear from you, 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number, tweeted us at HappenSchafe, at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor, Mike, or Joey at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Who's that huge guy?
And of course, we say good morning to our YouTube streamers today. We got in deep on Derby talk. We'll take a quick break and be right back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right. We're not trusting AI anymore. I tell you that.
We got a new.
So Dave Parker won the first home run derby in 1985.
So we have a new entrant to the Fargo NCAA tournament thing from AI. You remember that back when we?
Oh yeah, I remember. We were checking to see if Fargo
was City of the Day or if they
round.
hosted anything, and they claimed that they hosted Zion Williamson.
That's right.
We had Fargo for City of the Day a couple months ago.
This one I would have went along with you, but I was actually curious, so I looked at the home run derby Wikipedia page, and I saw the lineup for 1985. It does not include Steve Balboni, and Dave Parker won the first home run derby, which was in 1985 at the Metrodome. When they did it
Why
by
would
team.
he make that up?
It collects information from a variety of different places and is bad at disseminating it. It is bad at like actually reading the information.
I feel good that the first 7, like the initial 7 that I thought it was, I feel good about those names that I gave you. And then, like I said, I scrolled down slightly and it like claimed that Steve Balboni won it.
Yeah, Steve Balboni could not have
He
won
never
it.
participated in it.
He was not in it. He was not in the home run derby.
Oh, duped again.
All right. So welcome back. By the way, we got this tweet. Let me grab for some reason my phone didn't charge last night.
Oh,
so
you McMastered
it
it?
really bothers me. I don't like it.
I did
at
come
all.
in here and notice that, and I thought to myself, something happened. Connor couldn't be happy.
If I don't start my day like with my phone 100% charged, I mean, what are we even doing?
I opted to get one of those chargers that's like the magnetic ones that you just pop up on the bedside stand. That thing's great.
Yeah, it didn't hold.
If you don't have it exactly as it's supposed to be on there,
that's right.
It won't charge.
That's right. So I got this tweet from Nick Wonder at Happen Shave on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. How about Bruce Levine accidentally tweeting a text about the Cubs front office to one of the Cubs coaches? That's what it looks like happened. I just saw this morning. Bruce Levine, who's covered, he's covered Major League Baseball for a very long time. He sent out a tweet last night at 8:46 that said, "You and the other coaches have been the stars of the team, being 12 games over 500. Let's hope Twinkle D and Twinkle Dumb don't sell you guys out like the 2025. Enjoy the family time, pal." I think he probably meant to send that text to Craig Counsell.
Instead, he tweeted it.
Instead, he tweeted it. I mean, please, if I get to the point where I tweet and I accidentally tweet a text, it's time to take away my phone.
It's depending on how much you actually DM, it can happen like more than you could ever imagine.
I try to not DM it like at all.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever been in the situation, but I have been where I've like typing something out and realized that it was in the box to go out to my Twitter feed and not the DM of which I thought that I was attempting to send. So I never had it to where it got published, but I can see how it happens if you're going through it through DM.
Maybe it's time to take a phone break.
In his case, he would just be texting, right? Like he would have Counsell's number, you would assume. If he's exchanging DMs with Craig Counsell as their form of communication, that'd be pretty great.
I suppose it's possible, but maybe he's on. Maybe Craig Counsell's got burners out there or something like that. I don't know. But yes, that is pretty funny. It's something I just realized this morning. Something else is relatively funny in baseball. Jay Kuda, the guy who does the nonsensical statistics for really all sorts of different things.
The guy who just bagged on the White Sox for a solid 3-year run.
Yeah. Good stuff by him. He tweeted this out yesterday. If you're watching along with this on YouTube, this is a list of names of the names of people who got drafted in the MLB draft this year by name, which I was very, very curious about because my theory, of course, is that every kid is named Jackson these days, which turns out to actually not be true. The leader, and I think there's a reason, there's a couple different reasons why. Number one, Ryan is a popular name. Ryan is the leader. 15 Ryans were drafted. The other main contributing factor to this is that there's really only one way to spell Ryan. Okay. So you go down the list and you see that, for example, there was 7 7 Connors drafted, 7 CONNORs drafted, but 1 CONNER drafted in the draft as well.
The funny thing about that is maybe the most famous Ryan in baseball history is not spelled RYAN.
That is true.
That is comical, but
classic baseball.
Mostly, unless you're the guy who everyone hates for your Star Wars movies, you spell it RYAN.
Jack, 12 Jacks were drafted, 10 Jakes, 10 Lukes, and then a bunch with 9 and 8. So Alex and Carson both had 9. A couple surprises for me, if we're to stick on this for a second. First of all, everyone is named Jackson or Jackson, JAXON or JACKSON. That I think holds, although there weren't as many as 15 Ryans, as I said before. Some shockers in here. All right, so only 3 Cade /Cade, CADE and KADE. I feel like when the College World Series comes up, I am blown away every year by the amount of Cades there are. But there were 5 Cadens.
Okay.
I feel like the Caden thing has really popped recently. So we're at 8 if you include Cade with a C, Cade with a K, and Cadens as well in the MLB draft. 7 Connors, 8 Michaels, and 3 Joeys, by the way.
Do they separate Michaels and Mikes? Is there like a list of Mikes in here?
It didn't look like it, but there's a lot.
Any form of Mike S.
There are 2 Ryans spelled like Ryan Sandberg, too.
Okay, so there you go.
So
there's
it's actually
really
up to 17. Yeah.
17 Ryans. And then
this is fast. I weirdly really like stuff like this.
Yep. And this is just a classic baseball thing. Like this is, look at all of these baseball players' names and imagine all of these, imagine this being, you could make up several 8-year-old baseball teams with these names like Steele, and I guess there's another Caden spelled a different way, Kaiden.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So throw that in there. We had a Fabio drafted this year.
Okay.
We had a Joe to go on top of all of the Joeys, by the way. We had a Rock, although it's spelled the wrong, the number 1 pick was Rock, ROCH, chill out, or Chalewski, according to Rob Manfred. We had a Steele. We had
is his given name Rocco?
I don't know. I would assume he just goes by whatever he was announced as.
Oh, that could be.
Which was Rock, ROCH, Rock Chalowski. Maybe it's just a mistake by our friend.
His given name is not Rock.
What is
his given
it?
name is Daniel.
Oh.
This ruins the entire player for me.
His name is Daniel Chalowski?
I do not believe in this player at all.
Get in the
it's
locker.
fitting that he went to the White Sox.
Yeah, what a loser.
I want nothing to do with him.
Daniel Chalowski. Also, Braden's. We even though there was a variety of different spellings of Braden's, Braden, Brendan, a lot of those going on, obviously, as well this year. So there you go. Take a good look. Those are your MLB draft names 2026. Any other surprises, Schaefer?
I was looking to see how many Hudsons. There's 3, which is probably higher than I would have guessed.
Graysons, a lot of Graysons going on.
So what I would love to do is be able to search this for names that include Ys, because I feel like there are more Ys in society for names now than there ever have been.
100%. Ys just get
people just want to throw the Ys in, like Jason with a Y, like a lot more Jason works out there.
Ys just get tossed into everything.
And so weirdly, I'm interested in that dynamic of it. I'm actually like fascinated by how many 4-letter first names make up the top part of this list, where you have Ryan, Jack, Jake, Luke, Alex, Cole. And then you drop off again until you get to Eric, Will, Cody. There's just 4-letter first names are really, really valuable.
Owen. Have you seen the guy on? You haven't seen this guy because you're not on TikTok. So there's a guy.
That's a bit.
There's a guy who he does a great bit, and I think he's an umpire for like under 12 games.
Okay.
And so he goes up to the phone and he's dressed up all in his umpire gear. I'll show a video after this. I'll see if I can explain it. He's all dressed up in his umpire gear, and he's like, hey Carson, why don't you put on another shin guard and some more tape and paint out your face with eye black and all these different, all these things that the kids are doing these days. And then at the end he goes,
so bad.
Sit down. Yes, you would love this guy.
It is so bad.
You've had this complaint before.
I sent you this complaint. I will do a modified version of it for the on air, but I mean, we're going a little over the top with the accessories of Little League right now. Like, let's worry about whether your kid can make contact with the baseball before we're letting him, paint his face like he's JJ McCarthy.
You should see.
Which JJ McCarthy should worry about being able to hit a 3rd and 10 pass on the hands of a receiver before he's worried about, painting up his face like he's John Randall.
You should see these kids at the College World Series, man. I mean, they're buying all the gear.
I know.
All of the gear, and the economy thanks you. All right, we'll take a quick time out. We'll come back. We'll pop open the Phil Steele magazine and roll through the tiny little balls right after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, get ready for the part of the summer that is just unrelenting heat and sunshine. This is the part of the summer where there's a small part of, even if you're a summer guy, there's a small part of you that says, boy, if it could just be like 46 degrees right now, I would absolutely love this.
That's me.
Now,
That is definitely
some
me.
people are like that all the time. So some people are like, I'd rather take the heat and the unrelenting heat, but I gotta be honest with you. During this time, these next 10 days or whatever, however long it's gonna last, maybe it lasts the entire rest of the summer. Who knows? I'm sitting there. I'm like, can I just get like 5 minutes where it's 38 or something like that, and I put on a hoodie? But no, that's not going to be. Unrelenting. All right, time to get out my tiny little balls and spin them around again.
What's our?
How many balls
go.
do we spin today? 3 or 4?
Let's go 4.
All right, 4 balls. We are starting with 20. Ball number 2 is 24. Ball number 3 is 21. And ball number 4 is 33.
So
98.
98. I don't know. I feel like we've done 98 before. We always end up around that.
Let me take a look.
Should I add another ball?
let me tell you what the team is first.
Oh, yep. We already did this
All right,
team.
Let me add another ball. Hang on. One more addition from 98. How about 45? Add on 45. So 143.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have we done 143 yet?
No, we did not.
Okay.
We got very close. But we did not do 143.
All right.
Yeah, because we did 142, which is we'll just move
Oh,
it to
it's still
144.
Pittsburgh? Okay.
Does that work for everybody?
What happened to 143?
143 is Pitt, which we've
So
already
it's-
done.
so it's a
That's
continuation
right.
and-
It's 2 pages
Okay.
at once. Okay, got it. Yep.
So
Go ahead, go to the next
if we're good with it, we'll move it to Virginia.
Wonderful. Anthony
Woo.
Calandria played there. In
Yeah.
fact, 2 of Nebraska's quarterbacks played there once.
That is true. I didn't ever think about that until this exact
I don't
moment
think that I did either.
in time. Virginia rates at a -7
Uh-oh.
in my stock market indicator, and most indicators are pointing down. They still
no.
avoid Miami, Clemson, and Louisville, and while I do not see them matching last year's 11 wins, they are still a contender in the ACC.
Yeah, people forget they basically, I mean,
They went
were-
11-3 last year.
They should have made the playoff last year.
Yeah, they beat Duke in the ACC. They make the playoff. Miami's out entirely.
That
And
would've been
so
great.
Miami doesn't make their run.
They went to the
Notre
national
Dame's
championship
likely
game.
in at that point.
Ooh, this is the mark of a scary, scary season, especially if people don't think you're going to be very good this year. They play a conference game in week 0.
Yep, they get NC State to start things off. Then they have the bye week because they thought they were going to be down in Rio de Janeiro. I
Yeah, it
believe,
was
right?
originally down there, and then
It
they
was
moved
going to
it.
be, it was going to be in Brazil.
And
Okay.
and so then Norfolk State, West Virginia, and Delaware. So they must only play 8 conference.
They're
no,
playing-
that's right, because they play their first game as a conference game.
Their game against West Virginia is at the home of the Panthers.
Charlotte.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's in Charlotte.
And
Go
then
Panthers.
the conference slate, they're at Florida State, Syracuse at SMU, Duke at Wake Forest, off week. Then they're Cal, North Carolina, and Virginia Tech. Cal Stanford will always make me laugh. SMU, I can just put in the ACC. Cal Stanford, not so much.
Who is their quarterback?
Their quarterback is going to be Bo Pribula.
Oh, Bo Pribula. Bo
He is,
Pribula. Wait. Really? He's not out of eligibility?
No, he's back.
What? Well, he wasn't in there. He was at Missouri.
No, I mean back playing college football
Yeah,
for
crazy.
another year. He was on the short list of quarterbacks that Nebraska could have considered when Kenny Minchie left to go to Kentucky. Long-time Nebraska commit Kenny Minchie of 2 days or whatever.
I
it
am
was.
reading here that they were trying to get Chandler Morris a 7th year
Yeah, they
this
were.
year and failed. And
They did fail.
Imagine failing trying to get somebody extra eligibility. Couldn't be me.
It happened a few times this year. Joey Aguilar got told no. Diego Pavia was told you got to go get a real job, bud.
Yep.
Sorry, Michael Severe. And then apparently Chandler Morris as well.
Chandler
So
Morris.
Tony Elliott has been there for, this will be his 5th season. Prior to that, he was at, I believe, Clemson.
Yeah, it was their
The
DC.
guy that I think people like as a coach, I just don't know. Last year feels like such a like a pop-up season.
It does.
Like the Minnesota 2019 to me, that it's hard to see their way back to double-digit wins like this.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna check their win total right now, but my guess would be like somewhere around 8.5, and I'd probably be likely to take the
And it
under.
does help you don't get the three teams that people are most excited about in the ACC with Miami, Clemson, and Louisville.
That does help. Yes. Virginia win total 7.5.
Yeah, they don't get Georgia Tech either, but they do get SMU, who's a trendy sort of pick in the college football playoff. They play at Virginia Tech, and James Franklin will be running things in the state of Virginia soon enough.
You'll be loving Virginia Tech, Schaefer. All right, let's do quickly one more if we can get a couple more addition here. 39, 37, 30, 48.
So 154.
Yes.
154.
Joey, are you doing that on a calculator?
Yes, I am.
Mike Schaefer's doing it in a calculator in his brain.
It is Duke. We're staying in the ACC.
We love the ACC.
Duke, who played Virginia in the ACC title game
People
last year,
forget.
the ACC champions of a year ago. The Duke Blue Devils were 9-5. Third-year coach Manny Diaz was sort of often discussed as like the floor for Penn State. Should they have to go all the way down there? And then actually, I think went past it a little bit, though. I think I'd take Matt Campbell over Manny Diaz. I don't know.
I think
for sure on that. All right, here's the Phil Steele with the loss of QB Mensah. Outside expectations are lower, but each year Diaz finishes higher than I predict them. Sign of a I love this parentheses. Sign of a good coach.
I love
and
when he does that.
defending AT champs will fall underrated once again this year.
Their quarterback will be they have a Walker Eget or a redshirt freshman by the name of Dan Mahan. Duke win total 5.5 this year.
Yeah, they've got a schedule. So it starts with Tulane, which isn't a given. At Illinois, not a given. Stanford, that's the easiest one out of the bunch.
Duke, Illinois is an early season kind of eliminator
kind of a
game.
fun one. William and Mary, and then they get their bye week. Then they have Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Virginia, Boston College, NC State, Miami, Clemson, Wake Forest. That's going to be a tough schedule.
Yeah, it's tricky.
A team that lost its quarterback, who was really, really good for them a year ago. And I
have faith in Mr.
Have a whole lot of
Eget,
other thoughts,
who I've never heard of before. So good luck to Duke this year. All right, we'll make sure to jump to another conference tomorrow. Don't worry, you only have so much flexibility with my tiny little.
Your tiny balls will take us somewhere.
Yep, we'll see. That is our college football preview, folks. We love college football. We'll be back. More to come on Happer and Schaefer, 7:00 hour. Up next on 1620 The Zone. Wow, Josh Hamilton. So many drugs and so many home runs that one night in New York in 2008. Was it the 2008 home run derby?
This is what it looked like it was showing.
Every year at the home run derby, they will show the Josh Hamilton highlights, and I'm like, wow, that was great. What a television watching experience that was that night. I saw someone tweet out like a memory of him last night, and they were like, hey, if you weren't watching, there's only one way you can really know about it is if you were watching it that night. And most people watched the home run derby back then, but I don't know.
How many, like, most years are you getting a little home run derby? Or
No, most years I watch the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But most years I watch the whole home run derby, and like I really make it a point to try and sit down and watch the All-Star game, because what I love about the All-Star game is the colors. I love the visual of the All-Star game. And so
But did you like it more when everybody wore their own stuff?
They do.
Uniform.
They do again.
Okay, so they're going back to.
We're back to wearing
Okay.
team uniforms. They did that last year, thank God. They fixed that. And I liked it better when it decided something and it was kind of a real baseball game. It's fine now. But really what I'll do is I'll watch the first like inning, maybe two, and then I'll probably turn it on in the background for a while or leave or do whatever. And then if it's good at the end, I'll come back and watch it at the end. But I love the beginning of the All-Star game. Everything is so clean, so pristine. Everything looks fantastic. I love the visual of the All-Star game.
Usually just try to jump in for the Jose Ramirez at bats, or when it was like Andrew Miller would come in for Cleveland, or I think there was a year where Shane Bieber was pitching in it, and he might have even that might have been the year they hosted. I might have watched most of that one, but for the most part, I'm just like jumping in when Cleveland people are involved, which is going to be weird. It's Travis Bazzana and two pitchers this year, so a little bit harder to when it's Jose Ramirez and he's starting, or he's going to be one of the first bench players coming in. You kind of predict when that was going to be. A little harder now.
Do you know our starting pitchers tonight?
I saw it. It's Christopher Sanchez.
Yes.
And Dylan Cease. Look at that. I remember seeing that and thinking to myself, this does not represent who I think
I know.
are the two best pitchers in either league.
Like I want two dudes who are absolutely like bona fide Hall of Famers throwing their best stuff up there against other bona fide Hall of Famers. But I don't
think that exists in the AL
right now. I
right
don't know if it exists at all. Like, whether it's in the lineup or in the pitching staff. I don't know if it exists really.
I mean, there was a bona fide Hall of Famer, and Justin Verlander, and A-Rod couldn't figure out who he was.
That's true. Remember when you got
DFA'd
DFA'd
he was
twice?
making a joke, and his delivery of it was so bad that you couldn't figure out that it was a joke.
I don't think he was joking.
No, I don't either.
I just think that was his excuse for saying that he was messed something up.
I like to think that A-Rod feels he's so far above the world that he wouldn't even need to know who Justin Verlander was.
It does seem that way.
Yeah. Now, I don't like Justin Verlander, so this coming at his expense makes me very happy.
I don't mind Justin Verlander.
Yeah, I have a lot of issues with Justin Verlander and how he basically conducted everything about his life in 2017 and 18 and everything after that. So the guy loved telling everyone was stealing signs from him when he would give up home runs and his career was going in the tank. Plays for the Astros. They cheat their way to a World Series. No problem with it. Never talks about it. Never says anything. The guy uses spider tack to revitalize his career.
Definitely.
No problem with it. Never says anything. That guy dumped on every person who ever got caught with steroids, accused every AL Central team, anytime they hit a home run off of him, of stealing signs. Like, he's just the biggest hypocrite ever. Do not care for him at all.
Nice.
He carries himself as he's this like
Schaefer versus
protector of the
Verlander.
game. And then in 2017, just shut up for eternity about cheating.
Wow.
I wonder what happened that year.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's
What team
shocking.
I wonder what team
how
he
a
pitched
guy who
for.
couldn't have a whip below 1.2 all of a sudden could basically never give up a hit an inning for the rest of his career until his arm fell off when he had Tommy John at 39.
That's true.
Just shocking. I wonder what happened there.
He found the fountain
he
of
went
youth.
to an organization where they took Garrett Cole and his whip that was never below 1.2, and they got that. Like, weird. I
would
have
say
no idea what happened.
everything's
in Houston.
very normal and totally natural. And
The dude sucks. I don't like him.
clearly. Will he
They're
pitch?
terrible.
Will he pitch?
I
in
love that he
tonight's All-Star
continues to
game?
pitch and that he sucks now.
This
It
will
brings
be-
me joy a little bit.
This will be his final All-Star game tonight. This is, of course, he
which he has no business being in.
he's on it on the honors deal, which happens to a handful of people basically every year, and I'm fine with it happening to him here. I guess I didn't realize that you had this vendetta against him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Never really cared for him.
All right, 7:00 hour back here on Happer Schaefer. I want to get to a couple of things here, including something that is stirring up the internet right now regarding Nebraska football. I wanted to say this first. I just found out about this morning. I didn't see it late last night. I haven't been paying attention to Summer League. Did you see what happened to former Creighton basketball player Trey Alexander last night? So he had to be stretchered off of the court, and he was moved to Utah a couple weeks ago. He plays for the Jazz now, and they were playing the Bulls last night. Last couple minutes of a Summer League game, and there was, minimal sort of contact as he was trying to make a play and get to the rim, and then he came off the court. He was kind of behind the basket and started kind of wincing and kind of gesturing toward his midsection area, and ultimately had to get stretchered off the court last night. So I hope he's doing okay. I don't know what that was. It certainly didn't look graphic or bad, or because like I talked to Joey. Joey said something about it this morning, and Joey's like, "Yeah, I was kind of scared to watch it because I heard that he got stretchered off. I thought it was going to be graphic. It wasn't at all. In fact, it's the exact opposite. You can't tell what happened really. So it feels like something was going on inside there for Trey Alexander. I don't know. Hopefully he's okay, and I haven't heard an update on him since last night. But yeah.
So you haven't been paying attention to Summer League stuff at all, huh?
No, but I have seen Rick Mask going ham.
Yeah, apparently he's just turned into an absolute star in the Summer League.
He's dropping Rick Mask stuff all over the place.
Double doubles and 23 points.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I was watching some of the highlights.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that Summer League basketball might be less competitive than a Big Ten conference game because there's a lot of space for that guy to operate.
The reason that I like the Summer League at times, I'll flip it on and I'll not be trying to watch it at all, and it'll come on and it will be basically an old college all-star game, and I'll be excited about it. I'll be like, oh, that guy! I remember that guy from Georgetown last year.
I found myself weirdly sucked into DePansa versus Peterson in the Summer League. And then watching it for longer than I had any business to.
Nice.
And then I admonished myself. It's like, what are you doing? There's nothing else for you to have on right now.
Nothing wrong, man. This is a time for you to expand your boundaries. Find out what you really like.
It happens to me every year though, where it's on at times of the day where there's nothing else on, and I end up watching a little bit of it.
I think Rink Mast will turn this great Summer League performance into a even better contract overseas. That'd be my guess.
I would be really surprised if he actually plays in the G League because I just think he's going to get more money to play overseas. Now, I don't know what his relationship situation is. If he has someone here in the States, and that might make it more likely.
That's true. That always plays a factor
that he would stay here. But there's definitely more basketball in his future. The thing that's noticeable with him in the Summer League is how much just having that break helped, and how gassed he largely was at the end of last year.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest issue for him with any basketball is just at some point, those knees and those legs are just not going to be fresh. You could see that they're certainly fresh in Vegas.
Hey, he dunked the other day. I was like, whoa, that only happened once ever at Nebraska.
Went from he got the ball at the top of the key and he blew by a guy.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like Rick Mass should not be blowing by you.
Yeah. So
if you're attempting to make an NBA team, you should not get blown by Rick
Now
Mass.
The only thing to do for Rick Mass is go out and win. Now, do they do a Summer League MVP or something? He needs to go win that.
I think they do that because they'll do a little tournament thing. They'll have a championship game.
He needs to go win that.
It was great that he had this interview where he basically said hey, I know that they're not here watching me, so my job is to try to make everybody else look good, but if I can play well at the same time too,
that'll help me too.
He's
respect
such a good dude.
Yeah.
He meant so much to Nebraska, and I hope whatever it is, I hope the rest of it goes great for him. He's back in Lincoln all the time.
Here's Andrew on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. He tweets at us at Happen Shafe. Are we not going to talk about the Connor curse? Poor Cags had no chance. Yes,
What's the Connor curse?
I don't know. Maybe I just say that things are going to happen and then they don't, and then it's called the Connor curse. Is it possible that I curse Jack Caglione, or is it possible that he's a young, nervous man getting booed in Philadelphia and had a tough time getting things lifted off last night?
Yeah,
he hit 8.
I don't think you cursed him. He certainly performed better than, like, I remember
he hit one more than Ben Rice.
The first Cleveland player I could remember in the home run derby was Jim Thome, and it was when it was in Cleveland in like 97 or 98, and I was all fired up about it, and then he went out and hit 2 home runs. It's like that guy would go on to hit 600 in his career, and he's one of the greatest home run hitters.
It's a huge buzzkill. Huge buzzkill.
Oh, I was so sad.
I was worried for Harper and Schwarber because they kind of got off to slow starts last night. I'm like, geez, this is going to be a real dud. People are going to be leaving. But luckily they...
Wilson Contreras versus Ben Rice in the final.
Or Junior Caminero or something like that.
Is it bad to say? I didn't watch it, but following along, I saw Wilson Contreras was in the semifinals. I was like, I don't want that guy in the final.
I don't either, mostly because I don't really care for him.
Well, there's that, but it's also just like, okay, you beat Wilson Contreras, or Wilson Contreras wins the home run derby.
Wilson Contreras versus
Bobby
Walker.
Abreu won it. Like, I know Bobby Abreu is a good player.
Hey, did you see
the performance was great?
Did you see Bobby Abreu last night?
No, I didn't.
He maybe had a bite of Bobby Abreu. He was big. He's thick.
He's big.
Yeah, he's big.
I thought you were gonna say he looks more and more like Sammy Sosa every day.
No. He hasn't changed as far as the pigment.
Well, no, like Sosa has come closer to the Bobby Abreu end of the spectrum, and so
like in the largeness?
No,
in the pigment of
pigmentation.
Skin? Okay, yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay,
so that hasn't changed much for Bobby Abreu, but he's big.
Okay,
he's a big boy. He always was a bigger guy.
Yeah,
Bobby Abreu is big.
Portly is what you might say.
So yesterday, here is what apparently is stirring the internet up, and I'm talking about the Husker corner of the internet here in this current moment.
Bobby Abreu.
That's what I'm saying. He had a bite of Bobby Abreu.
Okay,
he had a calzone or something like that.
Wait, that's not Bartolo?
Sad. We need to get Bartolo out of wherever he is right now.
Bartolo needs to be in the home run.
I think he needs to be an all-star. I think he needs to be a BP pitcher.
That guy could still show up and pitch.
Some of the BP pitchers, like Ben Rice's dad was throwing junk last night. He was throwing like sinkers and stuff like that. Cag's dad was ripping some bad ones. I mean, you got to get a pro pitcher to throw to you at these home run derbies. But anyway, so here's what's stirring up the internet in the Matt Rule corner of the world. So remember when Adam Brenneman was here? This is several weeks ago, right? They did the tour of the facility and he put some content out. Well, he's got more content to put out because this is what you do in July. You take old you take old content,
make it work,
and you make it into new content. If it even is new content, which it might not be at this point, because we've heard Matt Rule talk about this idea. So he tossed this one out there on Sunday night, and it says this. There's a video of Matt Rule talking about this in an interview. And it says, Matt Rule told me he moved Nebraska's practices from the morning to the afternoon because of the demands that travel puts on players. He also said no team that practices in the morning has won a national championship, and that was something he kept in mind when making the change. This was not received well by the internet because nothing that Matt Rule could say right now will probably the response to anything that Matt Rule says right now will not be, oh man, great job, Matt Rule. Awesome. What an awesome thought by him. I think I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out on the field. That will not be the response to Matt Rule right now.
What? I have questions.
Fire away, because I do too.
What about it was off-putting for the people who didn't receive the news well? Is it that he mentioned Nebraska and national championship in the same context?
I think so. And admittedly, he did not have to say that part.
Sure. But
I don't know why he takes it as far as he takes it sometimes. Yeah. That's a Rule thing that I just think we've always lived in that world. He didn't have to say hey, no team has won a national championship playing in the morning. Like that insinuates like we're trying to, of course they're trying to win a national championship. Like, are you really changing practices times away from winning a national championship? No.
If he said
Number 3, is it even true? I don't know. It might not even be true.
What if he basically just said, like, hey, checking in on all the top programs recently, they're practicing in the afternoon, and it might give them some sort of competitive edge?
That would have been a much better way to say it.
Yeah,
He did not say it that way, though.
I had this rant probably a couple months ago where I'm just sort of at this point where I'm just kind of tired of people looking for reasons to continue to be mad about things
that's
when
what's
they don't
happening.
really exist.
Yeah. That's what's
And
happening for sure.
I understand if you're a media member and you're annoyed because your schedule has now changed after X amount of years of covering morning practices. And so you've got to shift your content and all of that. Like, I get that there's people that might have some things that happen. You're shaking your head, but there's a whole ecosystem to how that structure works. I've been on both sides of it with the afternoon, the evening, when Bo Pelini's practices would go to 7 o'clock at night, all of that stuff. So I understand that there's that aspect of it. That doesn't affect 99.9% of the people who care about Nebraska football. And as to why they would care about what time the practice is, I would have no idea.
Yeah.
Why it would bother them that Matt Rule is like, yeah, you know what? We're not going to practice in the morning anymore. It shouldn't matter at all.
I agree completely.
And even to the small percent of people where it matters, it's just an inconvenience that eventually you get over.
Yeah, I don't even think it should matter to those people as much as it does.
I mean, I saw the look on your face. I know why it matters to them because you build your schedules in certain ways to do.
Of course you do it, but you adjust.
It'd be like if you showed up and they're like, hey, you're going to do a morning show now after 4 years of doing a midday show.
Well, that happened.
You adjusted. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
But you had to adjust while doing it.
Uh-huh.
It's not like they're going to protest and not cover things. Yeah. They just have to adjust to it.
Yeah, it happens. And
now you no longer eat breakfast. Or you eat breakfast here.
I eat breakfast. They're called Uncrustables at 8 o'clock. 2 of them, to be exact.
Sometimes you have breakfast burritos.
Sometimes I have breakfast burritos.
Once
when
you
I run out
had
of
an
Uncrustables.
egg roll bowl.
Yeah. I went. Those come in like 2 packs, and I just never re-upped on them.
Yeah, that's all right.
Maybe I did once.
Not everything needs to be a fixture in your habitual nature.
But yes, you're right. We live in this world where, for whatever reason, every single thing that Matt Rule says is just like, I can't believe he said that. And like I said before, I'm willing to level with people a little bit. I don't know why sometimes he takes it to the lengths that he does. He doesn't need to go the extra mile and be like, hey, I looked at every team that's won a national championship, and it turns out nobody has won a national championship while practicing in the morning, and so I'm changing my practices because I want to win in that. Like, he didn't have to do all that. It could have just been like once again, I'll go back to something I said a couple weeks ago. I'm just dying for coaches or administrators or whatever to get asked these questions like, hey, why are you doing this? Hey, why are you moving practices? And for their answer, I'm dying for their answer to be because I wanted to, because I felt like it. Okay. You could have just said that's why I want to do, but everything's got to have a reason and blah 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 blah.
But it kind of does in their case because they have to then structure and it has to work with the classes and everything else.
And I'm sure there's a lot of they have a lot of data and science behind why they're doing what they're doing and all those different things. Now, Nebraska has done it in a variety of different ways and manners since even in my time covering the team over the last 10 years. Frost moved them to morning practices. Riley wasn't allowed to move into morning practices. He wanted to move to morning practices, but Sean Eichor said no, they couldn't do it with the school stuff. And then immediately when Bill Moose and Scott Frost get here, they were able to do it with the school stuff.
Did you cover the team when Bo started practices at 7 o'clock at night?
No, I wasn't around, but I remember it.
Yeah, it was like you'd be going over there. It'd be 9:30. The players basically look like they just wanted to be. This is kind of true most of the time. Anywhere else, and you got horrible interviews out of it.
Sure. Everybody just wanted to go home.
Yeah, because it's 9:30 at night. And you're like, hey, I'm at a Tuesday practice right now. And they already practiced earlier today because they're doing 2-a-days today.
Yeah, and then he mentioned the travel part too. And I'm like, I just think too much is made. Like, it goes back to this bigger picture idea. And to a certain extent, this is why I understand why people have these adverse reactions. Because oftentimes I feel like we are concerned about the wrong things. At the same time, it's a clip in the middle of the summer where he's asked specifically about moving practices that he's like, yeah, this is why I want to move practices. Here's my answer to it. And I'm not mad. Like, I'm not mad at this. I don't know why this fired the internet up the way it fired the internet up yesterday, but clearly it does not take much, especially these days.
Yeah, well, I mean, Matt Rule says anything, and there's times where he says stuff where it's like completely and utterly unnecessary.
I'm not even sure.
I had my own moment with this when he was talking about the special team stuff before Mike Eckler had even left for USC, and basically it's like, okay, all of this could have definitely been phrased or avoided.
And once again, I'm not even sure that what he's saying is that true? Is that a fact that he's that he's saying out loud? Because sometimes he'll say stuff and I'll be like, wait a minute, is that right? Is that even true? I don't know that to be the case. I mean, honestly, Scott Frost did win the national championship, quote unquote, in 2017 when they practiced in the morning at UCF. They did go undefeated and claim a national championship that year. So I guess that's kind of one. I don't know, this, but I just wanted to let you guys know that this is what was firing up the internet yesterday. And this is added to the list of a thing that I don't, the specific topic at hand here, when do you practice during the day? Couldn't care less. Absolutely do not give a rip. Practice whenever you want.
So I kind of threw something in here about Indiana, and it pulls up this tweet from On3 Richie O'Leary. And he was watching this Joel Klatt interview, and he basically puts it all out there. Kurt Zignetti's weekly practice schedule is interesting, to say the least. Now, they would go on to win the national championship months after this tweet. 35-minute walkthrough on Monday.
Yeah, there was the big deal about them short.
Hour and 35-minute Tuesday, hour and 35-minute Wednesday, hour and 35-minute practice Thursday, and a 25-minute walkthrough. Those are really short practices. Mm-hmm. Middle of the day, I think, is when Indiana goes, based on what I'm looking at here.
The science and the data, backs up that, certainly. I mean, a lot of schools are going more toward the shorter practices.
He's been big on that, too.
Signetti specifically has, I think, gone above and beyond in that category as far as the rest is concerned, and doing things in an efficient manner. We don't need to be out there for 3 hours. We could do what we want to get done in 65 minutes, and that's your story.
I don't think it's rest for him so much as he hates wasted time.
Yeah, sure.
So it's all the efficiency, and it's like, we don't need to be standing around or hearing ourselves talk for the sake of hearing ourselves talk. It's not going to help us win a football game.
Exactly.
So if everything he's doing is marketed towards that idea, that's really interesting. Matt Rule has relatively short. The coach that had the longest practices by far was Bo. And then Frost was probably in the middle. Riley had I think he had shorter practices than Frost did. Frost was big on the station, so it went longer because of that. The roster was massive.
We have to have 2 teams practicing at once.
They needed their 4 stations and 170 people on the roster. Mm-hmm. So,
sure, there was a lot of productive stuff happening over there.
Rule's a little bit closer, right? I think Riley had the shortest practices. I'd have to go back.
Brian in Bellevue writes in, he says, would you say Rule over explains things? Yeah, I would. I would say yes, that is true.
Probably. It's like he wants you to know the information that he wants you to know.
Yeah.
Because he thinks it matters more than it usually does.
And then sometimes he gets on, it's like he's hosting a talk show, honestly. Sometimes he just gets on this tangent and then he can't stop. And then all of a sudden you have more information. He's letting go of more information than he obviously wanted to in the first place. Or whether maybe it's not even the information. It's just he's talking himself into a circle and he's saying something that runs contrary to what he said before or whatever it might be. So yes, to answer your question, Brian, I think so. Yeah.
What I would be curious to know is if he was like this all the time, or if the Nebraska of it has made it where he feels like he has to explain things past.
Well, he's certainly getting asked more questions.
No matter what, there's going to be the reaction to it, regardless of what it is. And then it's like he's trying to get in front of the next wave of reaction to it, but really the tide takes him over anyways. So it doesn't matter.
He's just talking.
A lot of it.
Probably should talk less still, but
I don't know. If he talks less, it's not good for anybody either. So I'm fine. Like, I don't have any problem with this. I don't have any problem with what he said. I watched the clip last night before I'd even looked at the rundown. It's sort of like, okay, yeah, cool. That's what the programs are doing. Just say you want to practice in the afternoon. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Nobody needs to know or care.
But there was too many words that were being used in order to disseminate that information.
I think he just really wants people to understand where he's coming from too often.
Yeah. Too many words.
And it still won't matter because they're still going to be mad at you.
That is also true. All right, we'll take a quick break. Our power rankings with tiers is coming up next. Our power rankings with tiers is something that we came up with on the fly yesterday. All right. Musical instruments I want to know how to play.
I'm excited about my list.
I am too. I'm very excited about it. So we'll do that. I also want to remind people about the Omaha Storm Chasers / 1620 The Zone night, which is coming up this Friday. It's no longer next Friday. It's this Friday, 7 o'clock, as Omaha takes on Lehigh Valley. I still don't have, I don't know if any of us are throwing out first pitches. We'll be there.
Yeah.
That's the story. We'll be there. So join us out at the ballpark. And I think Matt Show and John and Josh will be there. Joey, is this right?
No, I have not heard anything regarding that.
I think I've heard it on their shows. They've been talking about it. I wish. Anyway,
we'll double check. We'll
Okay.
double check.
So we'll be there Friday night at 7. Please join us. Omaha Storm Chasers and 1620 The Zone this Friday at 7 o'clock. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Harry Carey here. Hi, everybody. Harry Carey here.
Well, shout out to Equitable Bank there for getting drowned out by Harry Carey. But that is your reminder, once again, to head over to our website, 1620thezone.com. That's our Road to Wrigley sounder. You could win 2 tickets to Nebraska volleyball against Missouri at Wrigley, Sunday, September the 6th. Round trip airfare to Chicago, 2-night stay in a hotel, and $150 to use however the heck you want to use it. Maybe you go to Mr. Beef or something like that. It's up to you. Just head to 1620thezone.com and get signed up for your weekend getaway in Chicago. You can go see the Bean, but that's free. You don't need money to do that, which is great. And everybody wants to see the Bean. Coming up at 8 o'clock, we will rank each Husker football game with confidence points based on their ability to win. This is something that we came up on the fly yesterday as well. We will do that coming up in just a little bit. But it's time for Power Rankings with Tiers. We came up with this on the fly yesterday. We said,
I love this topic.
what are some instruments that we want to know how to play? Maybe that's a good Power Rankings with Tiers game. And here we are. How many tiers does Mike Schaefer have?
6 tiers.
I have 4.
Okay. I have 15 total, I think.
I don't even think I have 10 instruments.
Oh, wow.
No, you could. Oh, wait. Yeah, you got 10.
Exactly 10.
Yeah, exactly
Okay.
10.
Exactly 10 instruments. I could probably throw a couple more in here. I'm excited to see what you have.
All right.
As we both said yesterday, that there is a clear-cut number 1.
Yeah, for me, it's a singular top tier.
Same.
Okay, my tier is called Bang the Drum All Day. Number 1, the drums.
Okay, we have immediately a disagreements.
Okay, here we go.
Very
I love
exciting. Drums will come up later on my
Okay.
tier list. My number 1, not even a remotely close second, is piano/keyboard.
Okay, that's number 2 for me.
I want to be able to go into a house and rip off a piano, like rip off something on the piano. That sounds so cool to me. It sounds like the greatest party trick
Just
ever.
watching people play the piano is so good.
It's
like
so cool.
any rock star doing that and singing at the same time. I'm just so jealous. That's just something I wish I could do.
I'm just thinking about like normal people, like you know how they have the big piano at like Von Mar.
Sure.
I want to just sit in there and do a song. You know, I want to walk off the street and I just want to do a song.
Okay.
You know, like I
You want
have,
to become Virus.
I have a little bit
You
of
just want to sit down at the piano and start playing Man Eater,
that would be amazing.
like the kid from
great
the Jennifer
example.
Lawrence movie
Yes.
a couple years ago.
Great.
Just grab your phone, film a TikTok, walk
I
into the
can't think
piano,
of the
just
name
playing.
of it.
What movie?
It was hilarious. It's the last funny movie I've seen in theaters.
It was where she was kind of like a prostitute, but she wasn't.
Well, she basically gets asked by these parents to
Yes.
date their son to
And
help
the
like
parent
bring him
was
out
Matthew
of the,
Broderick for some
Yeah,
reason.
no hard feelings.
No hard feelings.
It was hilarious. There's the scene with Maneater at this restaurant.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. I've seen the scene.
Yeah.
I spark notes that movie.
Okay, you should watch the actual movie.
I should watch that movie. Piano, far and away. I just really want to know how to play the piano. I am somewhat musically inclined where I could do it. I could sound things. I can get it there, but it takes too long. I want to be trained and I want to know how to do it.
Connor just wants to be the piano man.
I wanna be the piano man.
He wants to play Billy Joel.
Harmonica's coming up later on my list. You'll see.
We're probably more similar, even though I started with drums. Like, I think the drums is the most fun instrument to play. Like, the just sort of watching someone or listening. So the Phil Collins song "In the Air Tonight," when that drum solo hits.
Yeah, but you can do that right now. You can do a gung gung.
Yeah, you can, but to play the drums actually well and to time it up with everything and to be good at the drums, I think is really hard.
You want me to do
And
my-
I think it's just a lot of it looks fun. It looks like it'd be a great time. So I'll just go and do you have a?
Do you want me to do my drums take?
Yeah, do your drumstick.
The drums are overrated.
Oh my
The
god,
drums suck.
This
Okay,
is such a
the
bad take.
noise of a drum is annoying as hell.
This is
Now,
a garbage take.
drums inside of a song, of course, great.
Mhm.
You stay on beat, whatever. It goes the tempo and the tune of the song. I love that. That's great. It's part of the song. One dude sitting there playing the drums is the most annoying thing ever. It is the worst. I don't want to sit there and watch the dude hammer away at the drums and make just like ridiculous sounds for 3 minutes in a row.
Yeah,
It is pointless to me, and it's more than that. It is annoying.
I love
The
a good
drums
drum
suck.
solo.
Oh man, I do not agree with this take at all.
I'm sure you're slapping the steering wheel during a song like it's a drum set.
Of course I am.
It's
a part of a song. I like that. That's good. It keeps you on rhythm. It keeps you on beat.
Sure.
The drum solo by itself sucks.
Just got a text. Something
I
is wrong
can't-
with Connor.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more based off
this
of
is
that
really
alone.
bad.
It's not great. It's not great. All right, go to your second tier.
right.
We got to get past this.
Yeah, we do. My second tier would be awesome. I would love all of these. All right. Guitar, trumpet, harmonica, saxophone.
Okay. That's those are all coming up for me. Trumpet is not. I didn't include trumpet.
I love the trumpet.
All right. The second tier for me is the hook brings you back. Piano, harmonica, ukulele.
Strings. A lot of the strings instruments are like the things that sort of seem like guitars. I just put it in guitar.
Yeah, no, that's I broke it all out.
I would love to know how to play a banjo,
Yeah,
but it's
these
a
are all
guitar.
coming up. You could have put all of these down if you wanted.
I could have easily had 5 more instruments.
So to me, the harmonica is like, so drums and piano are 1 and 2. Like there's probably no one challenging it. And then harmonica is third, in part because I think it's something that I could actually learn to do. And it would be sort of fun to have that, like to just bust that out whenever.
With harmonica?
Yeah, a really well done harmonica is awesome.
Dude, I mean, talk about like you're at a party, you're at a gathering with a bunch of people. I'm just thinking of basically learning these as party tricks. This is how I'm thinking. So,
why else would I want to know this skill?
If a harmonica comes out of that little case at the party, I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm absolutely in on that. And
do you know anyone that just has a harmonica that shows up places with a harmonica?
I've seen it happen before.
I
don't
have
know
too,
if I
but I
know
don't
the
have
person.
anyone in my life that's like, yeah, that's the harmonica guy in the group.
I love
don't
that.
have a harmonica guy.
I just like watching this is part of the reason why I love Billy Joel. Watching him sit down and do the piano and the harmonica at the same time is the most insane crap I've ever seen.
Or Bob Dylan playing the harmonica and the guitar
absolutely.
as well.
Yeah.
It is the most
basically anyone doing the harmonica and something else at the same time.
Yeah, and then also like singing too.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense.
It turns out they're talented. That's what it is. They're talented.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so.
ukulele third there in that group. I'll go to the next one. Man of Constant Sorrow. Here's more strings. We got the mandolin, we got the banjo, we got the violin.
Listen to the mandolin rain.
I think so after the first couple, I think I really lean hard into strings here for the rest of it versus the horn blowing.
Me too. So my third category is overrated drums. We talked about it already. And then my last one
Trash.
is I don't even know what to do with this. It doesn't seem like it'd be worth my time. Violin, flute, clarinet, cello.
I just left a lot of those off.
I don't care about
I have
any
no
of these.
interest in the flute. I have no interest
What
in the
would I do
clarinet.
with the cello? It's giant. It doesn't matter.
Pretty awesome though. Like
cello's
good cello playing.
Why would you want to know how to play a cello?
It's the bass for orchestra.
Yeah, no, good cello.
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
is
You could be in an orchestra.
excellent.
The violin.
You never wanted to be in an orchestra? Now you're lying.
Some bands have the violin. Kansas.
You were lying.
Dust in the Wind.
I like the sound of the violin, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about, do I need to know how to play these instruments? That's what the list is. Do I want to know how to play them? The answer, no, on any of those. Drums, violin, flute, clarinet, cello, get out of here. I don't care about it.
My fourth tier, Ziggy played guitar. We got the acoustic, the electric, and the bass there. And then we go to the next one, just the two of us, saxophone, galar horn. Just knowing just playing that endlessly. Just outside of Joey's apartment.
Is there a skill to that?
I think you probably have to be able to carry it long enough.
Okay.
I can see
I have
Schaefer.
no musical inclination or talent.
I was
whatsoever.
listening to the show before us coming in yesterday morning, I think, and they brought up the Vuvuzelas from the 2010. And I think LeVar Arrington was like, "Hey man, I never figured out how to make it go. I never figured out how to make it work." And it was like you had to do a special
You
thing
have to
with
be
your
able
mouth.
to sustain the noise of it.
You had to do like
actually get what you want out of it.
you had to do a special thing with your mouth in order to make it work.
If I did it, that's what it would sound like.
That's how you
Exactly
do it.
what you did just there. My last one, it's a long way to the top. Bagpipes, the cello, and cymbals.
Oh, bagpipes actually sounds kind of fun.
I had a teacher in middle school that played the bagpipes, and very, very noticeable.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, kind of in the annoying category.
Oh,
Yeah.
but when it's done right,
yeah.
I was out at Prairie Club a couple years ago.
That's a real setting
Yeah.
instrument.
So at Prairie Club at sundown, a guy comes out and plays the bagpipes. I think it's every night at like 8 p.m. And people just gather around, like it's by the fire pit down there, and get the views of everything. This is really awesome. Just really, really awesome.
Texter from the 402 writes in. He says, "Nothing beats a good Friday night light drum line." Okay, so this is an interesting little wrinkle to this. A symphony of drums, if you will, that's not so bad. I still don't.
You're
prefer,
saying the person playing a singular
I'm talking
drum.
about one drum. Like, and once again, this list is the want of ourselves to learn how to
Sure.
play these instruments. I don't think I would annoy myself. If
I would
just was
love to
playing
have the
drum.
ability to have the rhythm to just pick
Boom,
up, and
boom.
whether it's a pencil and I'm just starting and I'm tapping and I can create a noise out of
You
that.
could do that without learning how to play the
Yeah,
drums.
I can do that. It doesn't mean it's going to be in rhythm, sound good, or anything else.
You just got to have some rhythm, man. I got rhythm.
Connor, I have the physical ability to play any of these. It doesn't mean that it's going to be good or that I should.
That's true. Yeah. You don't need to learn how to play the drums in order to have rhythm, though. You know what I'm saying?
I think I need a lot of help to have rhythm, just based on my entire life.
I don't mind the
experience.
drum line for Texter. I don't mind the drum line. The symphony of drums together. It's
You
not
know
bad.
what's missing from your guys' tier rankings?
Oh, what do we got?
We need more cowbell.
Oh, cowbell.
Hate the
Talk about
cowbell.
an annoying instrument.
Hate the cowbell.
Jeez.
You go to the game at Iowa State
I
and they're
just
just
save it.
ringing that damn thing. It's the worst. Absolute worst.
Text with the 402.
Won't be ringing it this year.
The piano is the only one you can play in front of people without being that guy who brought his acoustic guitar to the party. That's 100% why I want to do it. Also, my one goal with the piano, which is my number one instrument, is I want to learn how to memorize and play the beginning of Roses by Outkast. This has been my lifelong dream. I wanted to do it for a long. I watched many YouTube videos. And I want to know how to do this.
This feels like something you should be able to set up with like Ian or something, where it's just like
It's all I want to do.
1 week boot camp of teaching you how to play Roses.
It is maybe the only
This
thing on my
seems
bucket
like something
list.
we could make.
I want to know how to play the beginning of Roses by Outkast.
Okay.
It's so hard. I've watched so many YouTube videos. It's so hard. But this is what I want to know how to do. Imagine if I sat down at your piano and you had a piano at your house. I sat down at your piano. I started ripping off Roses by Outkast.
I don't think I'm ever going to have a piano.
That would be incredible.
The only piano in my house is my child's like 1-year-old piano that he could make noises with his feet when he was little.
How many keys is
I think
that?
it was like 8.
That's not bad.
It's not
I
enough.
can make work with that.
It's not enough.
All right, we'll take a break. Joey's got the headlines right after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. If you're craving a hot meal, 1620 The Zone's got you covered with Arby's, known best for their roast beef sandwiches, of course, and iconic curly fries, and I would argue potato cakes as well. But they're bringing back the Angus cheesesteak, similar to the Philly. Arby's. We got the meats. Listen all week on Sportsmanlike Conduct for your chance to win a $25 gift card to Arby's, which I always go to when I'm in a pinch, and they always satisfy me because I get potato cakes and I love them. All right, Joey, what do our headlines look like today?
Headline number 1, 93-year-old man could earn Guinness World Record title for oldest truck driver.
This is scary a little bit, but okay. 93-year-old truck driver. This concerns me.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Trucks already go slow. Imagine a 93-year-old driving a truck.
How slow would they
Sounds
go?
horrible.
They're terrible. Okay, now headline number 2: astronomers detect sugar in interstellar space for first time.
Okay. I say we go there. I say we go to the interstellar sugar.
We can't cede every space conversation to the afternoon show,
Yeah.
so we need to get our own space conversation.
Yeah, I want to see what's going on in space.
So let's find out about sugar in space.
All right. So sugars are, this is from Science News, Sci News. Wow, it seems.
No, it's science. The spelling is they sneak it in there in the graphic.
Inside of the little deal there. Okay. Sugars are essential to life, forming the backbone of DNA and RNA and serving as metabolic fuel, but scientists have long struggled to explain how they could have formed in sufficient quantities on the early Earth. Lab experiments simulating prebiotic conditions tend to produce sugars only in trace amounts. The detection of ribose and glucose in meteorites and in samples from the asteroid Bennu has fueled speculation that at least some of the Earth's sugar inventory may have arrived from space to say what's up. But until now, no sugar had ever been spotted in the interstellar medium itself. Sugars are essential biomolecules serving as metabolic fuels, nucleic acid, backbone components, and structural energy storage polymers. Dr. Something says. Okay, now this article is doing a poor job of explaining to me what the significance of this is.
You get to pick your own significance.
I cannot distill this down.
A central
for myself.
question in origin of life research is how monosaccharides formed on the primitive Earth as laboratory experiments
This
under
sucks.
prebiotic conditions yield insufficient concentrations.
This is actually just a good competition of how do you say words. How about this paragraph? The researchers found erythrulose to be at least 8 times more plentiful than 3-carbon sugars such as glyceraldehyde and dihydrodeoxyetone, neither of which was detected at all in the same cloud despite the surface high sensitivity. We should just trade off paragraphs from here on throughout the rest of the story.
Yeah, there's
This is just us pronouncing science words differently.
Go to school.
Should we go back to the 93-year-old truck driver?
We got time.
At least I want to know where this is taking place, just see if
Florida.
it's close to me. Iowa.
Oh no.
Oh no.
His name is Oren, and he's been driving trucks for 70 years. Oh no.
Oh.
He grew up driving a semi-truck at the age of 19. Grew up in Audubon, Iowa. Where's that? I feel like I've seen that on a license plate. That's a county in Iowa, isn't it? I don't know where Audubon is.
I know I've seen it on a sign somewhere.
I definitely
But I don't know where.
Feels
in
like it's
Iowa.
on our path, which is not good. I don't want to
Rural southwestern Iowa, 85 miles west of Omaha.
Oh,
east of Omaha.
I don't know. The internet says west of Omaha.
How can it be west of Omaha?
that
I
doesn't
don't know.
make
Iowa
sense.
is east of Omaha.
I'm reading you exactly what it says here.
It says that Audubon is 85 miles west
It's
of
a
I'm
Omaha.
rural
using
southwestern
AI.
Iowa town located about 85 miles west of Omaha.
Wrong, idiot. No, it's east of Omaha.
Maybe
it's
they're
out.
saying that. No, I don't know how this works at all.
Maybe it's out by where I went
Omaha
to.
is 85 miles west of it.
80. What? Yeah. Is that what it's trying to say?
That's what it's trying to say. That's not how it's written.
Well, that would be the truth. Unfortunately, we have not found the truth in this story. Okay, Joey, thank you for the headlines. We'll come back and rank each Husker football game with confidence points based on Nebraska's likelihood to win. And then we have a bunch of guests coming up as we go on throughout the show today. It's halftime. We'll take a quick break and be back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. 8 o'clock hour of Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone. And on 1620thezone.com, Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola with you this morning. If you missed our power rankings with tiers, the graphic is conveniently up right now on Twitter at HappenShave. On the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed, you could find out our takes on musical instruments that we would like to play the most. People were mad at me about my drumstick. That's okay.
The graphic does not say what Connor has said about the drums, but if you want to learn more of why it's in the overrated section, you could listen back to our podcast.
Exactly. Then you have the knowledge to learn and listen to the information that you actually seek out. It's like you could click on the article and find out more information, or you could just read the headline.
Joey, was it easy to find the appropriate graphics for all of these instruments?
Yes, it was easy. Thank you to Canva.
It's I noticed
Canva has been a big win for everybody.
Our tiers don't always make it easy for you to have the.
Oh yeah, because it's always a different number of tiers for you two.
Right.
It's not a consensus.
Definitely never going to be uniform. We never know how many of any item it's going to be either.
That's true. And we just kind of make them up as we go.
100%.
I was determining if I should crack down on that, but I'm like, let's just leave it that way. Just leave the uncertainty there.
You can crack down.
No
it
cracking.
Will not be followed. I promise you that.
Speaking of the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed, we did perform a poll question yesterday. Do you remember our poll question?
I do. It was I said that I do, and now I'm blanking on.
Are you willing to entertain the possibility that Nebraska could win against Indiana this year? Final results are in. 712 votes. 64% said no.
Okay.
They're slamming the door shut. No chance, zero. Get it out of here.
Wow.
So that could inform some things on today's segment, which is ranking each Husker football game with confidence points based on likelihood to win them. As I was doing this last night, there's only a couple different ways you could do it. It's a pretty straightforward schedule in the sense that there is definitely a 3 hardest games.
Definitely a 3 easiest.
There's definitely a 3 easiest games, and then even some of the middles are pretty easy. But yeah, go ahead.
So the team that I struggled the most with where I wanted to put them was Iowa, and I ended up in the spot where I'm sure that you have them too. But I
considered Iowa going higher as well.
I don't have.
You have to include the mental hex.
Yeah, there's that aspect of it, and really where I came at, it's a road game at the very end of the season where Nebraska just hasn't played well. And so that's part of why it ends up where it ends up. But I look at that team and I just think to myself, like, Nebraska can absolutely beat Iowa, yet confidence points wise, I still couldn't get to put it. I wanted to put it at 6, and I didn't.
Oh.
No, and then I ended up putting it where I ended up putting it, and that's not even the next number after 6.
There is an argument to actually put it at like 1.
Well, yeah,
the least amount of confidence.
There is. Yeah. There certainly is.
But I didn't do that.
No, to me, there was always a clear-cut 1 there. But so I'm wondering how many of these we have the same.
I am wondering that too. So without further ado, let's begin. The most confidence that you have in Nebraska to win a single football game, 12 confidence points this year, is which game?
North Dakota.
Bowling Green for me.
Okay. Interesting.
I'll tell you why in a second.
All right. So for me with North Dakota, they're the worst team of the 4 Dakota schools. I don't think that they would win a bunch of games in the MAC either.
No.
So I just have them where they're slotted in the same, like it'd be like the Houston Christian of this year for me.
See, that's where I think it's different. It's not Houston Christian because Houston Christian, there's no regionality to it. That's it. That's literally it for me. That's why North Dakota is number 11 instead of number 12. I have
Bowling Green at 11.
I am slightly less confident that Nebraska is going to beat North Dakota than I am at Bowling Green, even though I know FCS, FBS, whatever. And I know North Dakota is not even a particularly good FCS team. But there's just this, there's just this regional aspect to it where I think it maybe matters a little bit more to them. And Nebraska thinks they have a walk in the park, whatever. It's also week 2 instead of, whatever. So 12 Bowling Green, 11 North Dakota, 10 Ohio. Yes?
Yep.
10 Ohio.
Same.
By the way, one thing I did with this last night, just to add some extra flair to this, I added series histories with all of them.
Okay.
Never met Bowling Green before.
Okay.
1-0 against North Dakota,
And they
obviously.
struggled a little bit with North Dakota in 2022.
That's right.
I think they ended up winning by double digits.
38-17.
Yeah.
That's where Scott Frost at halftime said, "It's my head."
Yeah, I mean, it was.
It was so bad.
The thing that
Our offense is so bad.
one of my biggest takeaways from that game was I'm like blanking on his name, Teddy Prohaska. The Monday after the press conference, he's in the hallway and he's talking, and he's basically like, yeah, I did not have any confidence in playing right tackle, or when I was like, they did the thing where Whipple would move him over to the right side and they would go heavy on one formation, but then throw out of it. And he's like, yeah, I didn't really have confidence playing tackle. And it was like one of his first games back from the initial ACL tear. And it was just an immediate like red flag for me, for that offensive line, for him, for the whole situation sounded bad. He ends up getting hurt against Oklahoma like 2 weeks later and done.
And remember, that was coming off of the Northwestern loss in Ireland.
Right.
A week. Did they have a week off?
No, they didn't get a week off. They
Yeah.
famously did not want the week off.
Good job. Smart. John writes in, why didn't Connor have 12 confidence points on the Indiana game? He has guaranteed a victory. I have most certainly not. By the way, on that yesterday, we got a tweet after the show from our good friend. It was Declan, who said, hey, can you actually like break this down for me? Nebraska hosting Indiana is a winnable game because there is a what percentage chance that Nebraska wins? And I responded to him, I was like, 15. Like 10, 10 or 15.
Sure, yeah.
Just not 0.
Yeah.
And that was the question that we were asking.
Basically, like, is there a world where you think Nebraska can win this close to 2 out of 10 times? 15% to 20%, like in that range. That's where I'm at with it.
Exactly. We're in the same spot. Anyway, back to the list. They have surprisingly never played Ohio. I was shocked to learn this when I went to Wikipedia.
Well, Frank was never going to schedule that game.
I guess not.
And they were never going to schedule Frank. And Ohio was...
That just seems surprising to me. I don't know. It just feels like they would have at some point.
You're right.
For as many times as they played Utah State, or whatever. Like they
have played Utah State.
They played Ohio once. All right. Number 9 confidence points. The fourth easiest game on the schedule is what?
So Brunt said Maryland.
Uh-huh.
I say Michigan State.
I say neither of those.
You say Rutgers.
I say Rutgers.
All right. The reason I went Michigan State here, I think, again, some of the way Nebraska's schedule sets up is when you catch teams, Michigan State is going to be very early into the Pat Fitzgerald experiment or experience, whatever you want to call it. They don't have really clear answers for a lot of positions at this point. They have a huge changeover on their roster. And so those sort of games, when they make the jump in terms of who they're playing, and Nebraska's just in a lot better foundation, even though they're on the road. I feel better about that than I do almost any other game they play.
Okay.
And I think Michigan State might have the least talented team Nebraska plays.
I thought about putting
in
Michigan,
conference play.
Certainly the teams that were in competition for this particular spot and will occupy the next 2 after this, all 3 that we mentioned.
I love this. Our lists are going to have slight variances in the first 6.
This is the way it goes.
Yeah, well, it's the obvious.
This is the way the schedule is. Number 9 for me is at Rutgers. Nebraska is 7-0 all time against Rutgers. Their last meeting, of course, 2 years ago when they won it was like the windiest game of all time, right? There was a lot of talk about wind tunnel. They won 14-7 in 2024. Dylan Raiola turned down many easy passes in that game. I remember that in particular. Number 8 for me is Michigan State. So are you flipping Rutgers and Michigan State?
No, I actually have number 8 here is Maryland.
Okay.
So the fact that Rutgers is on the road tips that slightly in the favor of Maryland at home.
Yeah. I think Maryland's sneaky.
That's going to be a tough game or a tougher game.
So I have the 2 road games before. At Michigan State, Nebraska is 10-3 all time against Michigan State. Their last meeting, of course, was last year when they won 38-27. Also met in 2023. So in the rule era, they, of course, lost there in 2023. But did you know The last met in 2023, Michigan State won 20-17 that year. Did you know that win has been vacated?
The 2017.
2023, the final score was 20-17 Michigan State.
Oh, it got vacated because of.
Was this a Mel Tucker joint?
No, he was already fired at that point. They had the interim coach, one of Nebraska's several losses to interim coaches or suspended acting coaches, I guess if you would.
Very cool.
In the Matt Rule era. I can't think of that coach's name though.
I have no idea.
I want to say Terry Smith, but I'm pretty sure that's the Penn State guy.
That's definitely the Penn State
guy. He was a defensive backs coach. He got elevated to the interim coach for Mel Tucker. I don't remember why it was vacated. They had some sort
Harlan Barnett.
Okay.
Nice job. I mean, good job by even getting there. Harlan Barnett. Yep. That win that year was vacated. So they technically went 0-8 in 2023. Nice job by Michigan State.
Didn't get Nebraska to a bowl game.
No, unfortunately did not that year. And that would have changed everything. Number 7 for me is Maryland, who Nebraska is 3-1 against. They, of course, won by 3 last year in College Park and then lost in the Chuba game in 2023.
Yeah. I have Maryland at 8 and Rutgers at 7. Rutgers, the reason I have this.
You're a big Rutgers guy.
It's also the second road game in a row. They have the Friday game against Illinois, and then they turn around and they go to Rutgers, back-to-back road games. It's hard to win both of those. One of the reasons I took Minnesota last year, right after the Maryland game, back-to-back road games in the Big Ten. Nebraska does not have a lot of success in that regard.
Also, Minnesota has a hex.
Minnesota has a hex, and they employ that hex, and they show up and play hard. And I didn't expect Nebraska to look like it did, but they did.
All right.
So that's partly why Rutgers, even though I think Maryland has more talent, Rutgers being on the road in the second part of it, that's why they end up where they are. This was a big decision for me. So I wanted to put Iowa here initially.
The next 2 you could put in any order.
Yeah. I wanted Iowa to go here because I think talent-wise,
you should have just done it.
I think they're the least talented of the following 2 teams that are going to come through here. And their quarterback situation is trash. But famously,
always is.
They tend to get past that. Now, last year, their quarterback situation elevated them with how Gronowski played for him. 5'11", Jeremy Hecklinski is not going to, do that in the same way.
Hank Brown?
Hank Brown might be losing out to 5'11" Jeremy Hecklinski. So
very well could.
I just don't see it for them offensively, but the aura of it. Left it alone. I put Illinois on the Friday night.
For the record, I also do not see it for them offensively.
Yeah.
They're going to suck on offense. Yeah. I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Because they basically didn't need first downs to beat Nebraska.
So while you were trying to argue for this game to be the 6th easiest / 6th hardest, I was trying to come up with an argument for myself to make it the first hardest last night. When I was sitting here doing this list,
just because of everything that plays out.
Ultimately, I couldn't do it just because it's truly not.
Well, so I landed on Illinois here, and I think Nebraska tends to match up pretty well with Illinois. Their games play in a certain way. A Friday night in Illinois, they've won there 2 years ago or 3 years ago at this point in time. So it ends up going over Washington, over Iowa. That's the next grouping of teams here for me.
Yeah. So we're at 6. This is 6 confidence points. Yeah, I have Washington and Illinois at 6-5.
Okay.
So Washington
with the home game aspect, plus them going on the road, they're bad.
Yep, and I could have certainly flipped it. Didn't really make all that much of a difference. By the way, Nebraska 5-4-1 all time against Washington. They haven't met since 2011 though. This is the first time since the game out there. Or no, in
they
Lincoln
played like 3 times in a calendar year.
Basically, yeah.
With the Holiday Bowl. That Nebraska absolutely did not try in.
They did not try. They did not show up in that game. But
they
won.
They tried in 2010, and they made Jake Locker look bad.
They put him in a locker. It was great. He was terrible in that game. Every once in a while, I still look up his stat line from that game.
They're terrible.
I'd like to look at it again.
Our stats department has something for us, going back to what I said on back-to-back road games.
What's he got?
The last time Nebraska won back-to-back road games was 2006.
What?
Yeah.
Ugh.
You have to have it work out where you have back-to-back road games. So you start there. So not every year some years you end up with a really even split of home and away. So there's that, but it's also just Nebraska's been a pretty bad road team for the most part.
Jake Locker for Nebraska,
Are you
Washington.
looking up his game in September of 2010?
Yeah, you ready for the stat line?
It's horrible.
4 for 20, 71 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Somehow he completed 4 passes for 71 yards.
Yeah, there's a broken tackle, I'm sure.
Definitely. He also ran for 59,
Did
so it wasn't
Mukamara
terrible.
have the one of the 2 picks? I remember him having a particularly strong day that day.
There was 2 interceptions, like you said, and none of them were by Prince Mukamara.
Maybe he just had a bunch of deflections, or he just was all over the place.
Alfonso Dennard and Eric Haig.
That secondary, very good.
That was a good team. Nebraska. Oh, wow. Look at that. Here are the people who carried the ball in that game for Nebraska. Are you ready? You would be able to get a lot of them, but not 2 of them, probably. All right. Taylor Martinez.
Sure.
Roy Hillu.
Sure.
Rex Burkhead. Each ran for 100 yards
Yep.
in the game. And then there was an appearance from Cody Green.
Okay.
There was a Niles Paul carry.
Okay.
And then there was 2 more.
Okay.
2 Austin Jones carries.
Okay.
And 4 Dontravius Robinson carries.
That is a name.
What happened? Didn't he get moved to linebacker?
No.
Or he moved from linebacker?
Cody Glenn moved to linebacker. Dontravius Robinson was the one, I think he transferred to Montana.
I feel like he was a defense guy at one point. No?
I don't think so.
I remember being excited about having a guy named Dontravius, though. I was fired up about that.
I want to say he transferred to Montana.
I'm sure he did. I don't think he finished his career. But anyway, yeah, there you go. That's the story from the Nebraska-Washington game in 2010, which is the third to last time that they met each other, because they played in the Holiday Bowl and then in 2011 in Lincoln. What do you got?
So he transferred to Montana State in 2011.
Montana
Max
State.
Olson wrote a story for the Daily Nebraskan.
Oh, Max. We'll have to ask him about that on Thursday.
So he went to Montana State.
All right, so Washington, Illinois. Nebraska is 14-7-1 against Illinois. Of course, the 2024 disgusting overtime loss. They won there in 2023. Number 4 is Iowa.
Number 4 is Iowa.
Nebraska is still 30-23-3. Iowa's won 10 out of the last 11. 10 out of the last 11.
Disgusting.
Dear God. And then I'm curious to see how you order the final 3, because we're all down to each of the same 3. Judging off of our conversation yesterday, this wouldn't be a surprise to you. Number 3 is Indiana for me.
A winnable game.
Now, I wouldn't go that far, Scott Frost. Okay, I wouldn't say it's a winnable game.
They lost a winnable game 42-20.
We had a winnable game. But it is a game that
Nebraska could win.
Nebraska could win. I don't know the difference, but it's a game that Nebraska could win. That's number 3 for me. Nebraska 9-11 all time against Indiana. Do you have a losing record all time against Indiana?
I know they lost the last 2, so they were 9-9 going into 2019.
Yeah.
Wow.
They lost 56-7, and Gus Johnson was laughing.
It's a horrible, horrible game.
It's like it was bad. It was very, very bad. It was bad. And then they won in Lincoln Indiana won in Lincoln in 2022. Number 2, Ohio State.
Ohio State. Yeah. Number 2, Ohio State.
Okay.
Yep. I didn't think about it.
Nebraska is 1-10 all time against Ohio State. They lost in 24, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, and 12, and then 1 in 11. That is their brief recent history with Ohio State. Only one win against them ever.
2011.
2011, the greatest comeback in school history.
Quite frankly, didn't look like they were going to win that one either.
I left and I went to Qdoba, and Bo Pelini told me to go bleep myself after the game.
Yeah. And
that was
Levante David took that ball.
Greatest comeback in school history. Bo Pelini's like, bleep these fans. I don't care about them. These guys suck. What a great time that was.
We should really
revisit that. Okay.
Not revisit. Oh. Well, I don't know. I just want to hear the audio again.
You want to play the audio tape again?
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
Let's do that. Do we do it on the anniversary of when that game would have been?
It was
Like
late
early
September.
October?
Late September, probably.
It was after Nebraska had gotten waxed at Wisconsin.
Yeah. So it was
Which-
probably first week of October.
Yeah, I want to say it's like October 5th would be my guess.
Yeah.
Just a wild guess out there.
So you want to play the audio tape?
I do.
Which segment do you?
It was October 8th.
All right, good. Which segment do you want to earmark this for tomorrow?
Well, I was thinking we would do it on October 8th, but
You want to do it October?
the
8th?
1 year anniversary. But I honestly, it makes more sense to do it tomorrow. We want to throw it in the 8:45
I
segment.
love it. We'll play the audio tape.
Okay. We're gonna play the audio tape.
Joey, get to work. Start bleeping. I'm sure it comes in the internet pre-bleeped, which is good. And then number one, of course, is Oregon, the hardest game on the schedule. We only had a couple of differences, I think, on this list. Nebraska is 6-2 all time against Oregon. Their last meeting was in 2017. Nebraska won the previous 5 before that, dating back to 1971.
Okay. Yeah, I think the only the differences we had would be one off. It'd be, you having Bowling Green, me having North Dakota. Actually, did you have Rutgers as the easiest game? You did have, so that one I guess
I had
would be
Rutgers
2
as
off.
9. Yeah, outside of the top 3.
So that one would have been a little different, but otherwise, the Nebraska schedule, as we dissected it
pretty
about
well segmented out.
7,000 times, the way it's broken up.
Yeah, that's why I can't wait for the Chunkies.
Ooh, okay. I've never been involved with the Chunkies.
The Chunkies are about a month away. We are. I would say about 1 month away.
Do the
from
Chunkies have a dress code?
Not in particular, but something funny is encouraged.
Okay, all right.
We'll mark out a date for the Chunkies coming up here soon. All right, want to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620. Here is Sit Destroyer. They'll quite literally be on a 4-game losing streak heading into the Rutgers week, and by then Rule could lose the locker room.
So 4-game losing streak would be losses to Illinois, Washington, Oregon, and Indiana. I feel confident in saying they will not be on a 4-game losing streak.
I don't feel confident in that, but I don't think it's likely. I don't think it's likely.
Yeah, I feel
Nebraska
confident.
Will have lost all 4 of those.
I'm not
games.
as confident in saying that as I am that Nebraska will win all of their non-conference games by at least 3 scores or more.
Okay.
But I'm reasonably confident that they won't have a 4-game losing streak going into Rutgers.
If you think that they're going to be on a 4-game losing streak going to Rutgers, you don't think they're going to a bowl. Unless they beat Rutgers. That would be their
you
only.
think they're going 6-6,
Yeah.
basically.
That's if you have them beating Michigan State and Maryland,
Right.
which you may not if they're on a
They
4-game
could be,
losing
well,
streak.
that's just it. I could win this by they could have more than a 4-game losing streak.
that is true. They will
It's
be
not
on,
the way that I anticipate
they
that
will
I
be
would
on
be right.
exactly a 4-game losing streak. Now, is it okay to say that I don't think Nebraska at any point this season will have a 4-game losing streak?
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Yeah, I feel okay about that.
I
feel good about that, actually. Let's do it.
I
No
think I'd be
4-game losing
moderately
streaks.
surprised if they lose both the Washington and Illinois games.
That feels like split.
Yeah.
That feels like
I-
split city.
It feels like a high likelihood of a split to me, but
Yeah.
which one is which, I couldn't sit here and tell you.
Michael Severe writes in on YouTube. He says last time Nebraska won both ends of back-to-back road games was 06 at Iowa State and at K-State. The only Big Ten team that goes back further is Maryland, 2003. Ugh. Is that our stats department emailing us yet again?
That's our stats department.
Thank you, Mr. Stat Boy, Michael Severe. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. All right, when we return, we will be joined by Mitch Sherman. We have plenty of guests coming up. Don't forget, stay tuned. Coming up at 9 o'clock in studio with us, we'll have new Omaha Supernovas head coach Chris McGowan to talk about a variety of different things going on with the Supernovas, including a new addition to their coaching staff, which they have just announced this morning. Jacob Adil will still join us at about 9:20. Plenty to come on Happer Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. More of Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer with you. We're joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Do you remember when Jake Locker went 4 of 20 against Nebraska in 2010? That was fun. We were just reminiscing about that game.
Yeah. I was just having some thoughts about the 2010 season not that long ago, and how I think we maybe discussed this, how close Nebraska was, in fact, to I don't want to say winning a national championship, but like playing for a national championship. I mean, the 2 losses in that season were
terrible.
Texas and then at A&M in a game where Nebraska was. I think I can say this objectively: Nebraska was robbed in that game at A&M.
Yeah, they were hosts.
And yeah, I mean, you can't usually say that. Usually, you just say that you're just a big homer. But that's the one game, maybe the last 15 years, where it's like, no, there's not really any kind of bias coming into that statement. It's just, if you were to go back and watch that now, I think you'd be more appalled than what you saw on that day in 2010. One time, you get once every 20 years where you just truly objectively got screwed by the officials, and that was the game right there. But yeah, 2010 was a really notable year, and that Washington game, or the K-State game a week later, I think the next one, 1 or 2 later, was like peak Nebraska greatness in this century.
It's funny because you get further and further away from it, and like you said, the truth just sort of is the accepted one, and everyone agrees on that one. Yeah, they kind of got screwed at Texas A&M in 2010. It's like, at first there was a big controversy in the NBA when the Kings got screwed out of the finals that year in like 2002, and now you ask anyone in the streets, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the Kings should have gone to the finals."
About that all the time.
But
on the streets of Omaha,
they're all talking about the Kings getting screwed out of the NBA Finals in 2002. Everybody's saying it.
Were these the Kansas City Omaha Kings?
No, these are the Sacramento Kings.
I'm aware.
Just thinking back to that 2010 season, how the hell did they lose to Texas and Garrett Gilbert?
Oh, I remember how they sucked.
They built that game up in their minds to be the Super Bowl of all Super Bowls after what happened at the end of 2009. I mean, Texas is always going to be good. Texas is Texas, but that was a day where Nebraska was just ripe to roll off a signature classic victory. And yeah, sorry, didn't happen.
That was a terrible, terrible day.
Just to put a bow on how bad that game was.
Oh, I remember. Because Martinez got hurt.
All 3 of the quarterbacks that played in that game finished with 4 completions. It's a horrendous offensive game.
I left that game early because I was so angry.
You left so many games early.
I leave games early. I'm a fair weather fan. That's
that
why
should
Bo
be a tiers list for us. How many games are games that you remember that you left early?
That's why Bo called me out in 2011 after the game with the first audio.
I think Laney doesn't call you out all the time.
Fair weather bleeping fans. And so I left, and I was walking down the sidewalk, and I heard the noise that I eventually found out was Eric Haig taking back the punt or whatever it was. And I was like, damn, wow, I really screwed up. This is going to be the greatest finish of all time. And it wasn't. So I was happy with my decision.
Yeah, it wasn't. It really wasn't. But the Washington game, do you bring that up because of anything that's going on with Washington this year? Or
yes,
I listened to your tier rankings there, and I think it really clarified something for me, because I've just always looked at this schedule like there was a bottom 3 and a top 3, but there really is a 2 groups in the middle 3 as well. Like, it's very clear that Maryland, Rutgers, and Michigan State are
in the same group,
in a class of their own.
Yep.
In a class of their own, and then Iowa, Washington, Illinois are in their own group.
You could make the case to me that Iowa is in the other group, like we said before, but in the big group. But yeah,
right. But just the way that their profiles nationally. Iowa's maybe more difficult for Nebraska than one of the playoff teams from last year, but Indiana and Ohio State and Oregon are universally classified as top 10 teams, and then the next 3 are top 30 teams, and then the next 3 are like top 70 or 80 teams, and then you have the 3 bad non-conference opponents.
So You were listening to this segment. I guess let's drill in on Illinois, Washington, Iowa. Who the highest confidence points that you'd assign out of that group for Nebraska to win? Illinois on the road on a Friday, Washington at home, Iowa Black Friday on the road.
Well, I think Washington's better than Illinois, but I probably would assign more confidence to Washington because it's at home and it's on Halloween and it's earlier. It is earlier. Yeah, it's what a week or two before. What is the date of the Illinois game? Sorry, I'm losing the chronology.
7th.
Is it?
It is November 6th.
Yeah, right. So it's right. I was correct in my initial thought.
We're not wrong.
Washington comes first, so it does come after two very difficult games. But I'm going Washington. I think if you break those teams down and position by position, you probably come out believing that Washington is better than Illinois. But I still think that the home field and it's not a weird Friday night situation. It's not at Illinois where Nebraska's it's not as bad as like playing at Minnesota or Iowa historically in recent history for Nebraska. They've won there, but it's a really tough game, the Illinois game, and I think that's going to be just a huge hill, a big time battle. Nebraska is going to have to be extremely tough to win at Illinois on Friday night. And in the Washington game, I think that there's a more clear path for them to find a way to win that one.
All right, let me ask you this. I'll ask you our poll question from yesterday, the exact same words. Are you willing to entertain the possibility that Nebraska could win against Indiana this year? 64%, by the way, of our respondents said they weren't even willing to entertain it. They said no.
Yeah. I think it's silly to say no.
Agreed.
I think you have to be able to entertain it on July 14th. When it's October 7th and it's Wednesday of that week, I might say something different. We're gonna have 5 games to have watched at that point, and it's going to be a lot more clear. You're going to know a lot more about Indiana, whether this is Indiana from 2025 all over again. And they don't have the Heisman winner. They lost him, and I know like they've got a lot. Indiana just like player for player is just a lot better than Nebraska. I think that's a hard thing for some people to accept, and some people might say no, they're really not. They're really not. Like it's not a talent thing. It's just Signetti magic, and Indiana's pulled some stuff out, and then they lost players. They lost the Heisman winner. No, I mean, if you go through it and you grade Nebraska's positions or Nebraska's players line by line against Indiana is a lot better than Nebraska going into the season. But that's what people think. That might not prove to be the case in over 12 games, but that's where it is right now. And I will still say, like, you have to be able to entertain the possibility. Do I think that Nebraska is going to win that game? No, right now today. But could I entertain the possibility that it happens? Of course, yeah. It's Nebraska at home. It's Nebraska potentially being 5-0 in that game. If Nebraska is 5-0, then like a lot of intangibles come into play, and not intangibles that this program has handled well in the last 10 to 15 years, but again, like there is the possibility that they could rise to that moment, and you could have a night like or a day like Colorado from a couple of years ago. Indiana's better than Colorado from 2024, but like that kind of energy and momentum in the stadium, I think would be a really tough one for even for Indiana with all that it's done in the last 2 years. It's not going to be an easy game if it's like that at Memorial Stadium, and it could be like that. And that would mean you absolutely have to entertain the possibility.
So, Mitch, I was in a conversation yesterday with somebody about Isaiah Mosey, and I think he's kind of a fascinating player in Nebraska's upcoming season, especially with the news that came out earlier this month with Mekhi Nelson. What do you kind of make of Isaiah Mosey in the situation Nebraska finds itself? They took a guy that they recruited as a wide receiver. He played running back last year. He quite possibly could be your starting running back week 1, or certainly working in tandem with Jamal Rule, a true freshman. What are reasonable expectations to have for a guy that I don't even know if did he have like 75 yards last year total
Yeah.
in terms of running the ball? And he's a converted wide receiver. He looked better catching it out of the backfield than he ever did just taking it on a straight handoff. He just fascinates me as this sort of lightning rod player for the 2026 season.
Yeah, because I think we all can see that he's really talented.
That's a big part of it, is like the upside seems like it's there, but it also feels like a fish out of water sometimes watching him take the handoff last year.
I think when he should be there now after a year and another spring in the program. I think when he gets to a place where he's comfortable doing what they're asking him to do, and that was really hard last year because he was playing wide receiver up until August. When he gets to a place where he's comfortable, then you're going to see that skill and that athleticism take over. And all of a sudden it's not going to take a long time for the light to come on with him as a running back. When it happens, does it happen week one? I don't know. You certainly would hope that they've had this offseason to get him ready to be in that position, but it might take longer. That's the question. But I do think when it happens, that he's going to be a difference maker kind of player, and he can handle. It's not a situation where he'll never be able to handle a heavy load. I think that's selling him short. Is he going to be a 25 carry a game player? No, but can he be 10 to 15 and be really effective and be explosive and give your offense something that it's been lacking and could desperately use in 2026? Yeah, I think he's an X factor. I'll go back to his story, his origin story in college, and I mean, this is a guy who was coveted and recruited and committed to Oregon, and they don't go to Kansas City to take a player unless they believe that he has the skills to be able to fit that offense. And if that's who you are, and that's who he still is, and I think it is, and they've developed him well over a year and a half at Nebraska, he's not gonna be mismanaged. Like, that's the benefit of having your father on the staff and being somebody who knows knows football and is up close and watching it. Like, he's not gonna be languishing in the program. I think he's on a track where he can be a difference maker. And the question is just, do we see it right away this year, or does it take more time?
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. All right, Mitch, we'll let you go. Have a good rest of your week. Appreciate you taking the time as always.
Thank you. Take care.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Isaiah Mosey last year, 26 carries for 115 yards.
Okay, so he had a little more than I remember.
14 catches for 155
He just
yards.
looked so much better when he would catch the football, and the way that the fluidity of how he moved, you could see what's there. It's when he would take handoffs, it just felt so awkward.
Yeah, I agree.
But he could be your starting running back week one against Ohio.
I mean, I think he's going to be.
Yeah. I think he's really talented. I just want the herky-jerky nature of it, to be as smooth as it looks when he catches the football.
Yeah, I think he well, either way, I mean, he's going to be your guy, so you're going to have to get through some growing pains there.
That, or you're getting a lot of Quentin Ives that you didn't ask for.
I most certainly did not.
Are we going to... At some point, I'm going to make us decide how many carries we think somebody like Connor Booth could end up with, or, what
would we set that line at?
Do you think he could get over 22?
No.
Yeah, if you have no Mekhi Nelson and someone gets hurt,
yeah, there's a road where he gets a couple.
Yeah, he could be playing.
Scary.
Could definitely be playing.
All right, we'll take a break. We are back after this to round at the hour on 1620 The Zone. Coming up in just a minute, we'll be joined by Omaha Supernova's new head coach, Chris McGowan, right here in studio. They're in the green room right now. They're enjoying all of our snacks and coffee outside of our studio that we've offered. Of course, we have a constant hors d'oeuvres runner constantly going as well. So I don't think I've picked at it yet, but, there's shrimp and stuff.
That wedding the other day was great because the hors d'oeuvres would just be coming by, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll help myself to a tiny little lobster roll.
So much fun.
I will help myself to crab cakes. I'll help myself to tuna on like a little crispy potato olay type thing,
dude.
There is
a whole new
d'oeuvres
hors d'oeuvre industry. Yeah. It's a thing.
You can talk me into anything, and when it's served on in a tiny portion on a little
100%.
platter. Just handed to you as you're standing there. Yeah,
so this is a great segue actually to something we have to spend 2 minutes on. When Creighton was in Vegas last year for the Players Era thing, there was a little event up at the top floor where Nick got the Japanese whiskey at the Circa place. They were running, Omaha Steaks was doing hors d'oeuvres. They were running them around, and I'm like, they're just firing them. There's like 6 different ones, and they're all flying around. I'm like, yes, absolutely. At those things, I don't feel any like shame because they're really good. The waiters and the waitresses are always really good about saying like, oh no, I got a lot of them. Like I'll just go back and get more. And I'm like, I'll take another steak bite with a Brussels sprout inside of it. I'll take a tiny little crab cake.
Our table was sad. They have like the standing tables. It's like the cocktail hour thing, and we're in the far corner. We chose it specifically because of where the shade was, and so it was great for that. However, the chicken wontons never made it back to us. They were just the person would come out and people would descend on them. And we have multiple servers like, yeah, we're trying to get over here, but they're all gone by the time we get here.
This is a new wave. Do this instead of doing heavy dinner, just do the hors d'oeuvres.
It's so good.
It's not a bad move at all.
So good.
Speaking of the Players Era Festival, Joey, wake up. Did someone say schedules? That's
schedules?
right.
Joey's been very quiet.
He has been. He's been grinding over there on the computer.
He really has.
I've been working ahead on things.
That's what I'm saying. He's getting.
He's
worried about his potential day off.
Well, I'm also making a lot of graphics because we did a lot of rankings, confident points.
That's true. Now we don't need a graphic for this.
Is
no. We don't.
Most visual radio show.
It's all because of Joey. Otherwise, it wouldn't.
Yeah, no. If you watch on the stream every day, Joey's graphics, Joey's stuff, it's great.
It would possibly be the least visual radio show if we didn't have Joey.
Yeah,
so
that is true. It went from there to most.
So we have game times for both the Players Era 8 and the Players Era 16. All right, Creighton's of course in the Players Era 16. Here's the one game we know. It is going to be defending national champion, possibly a D-less, but new coach having Michigan Wolverines against new coach having Creighton on Tuesday, the week of Thanksgiving, at a 4:30 local time start, 2:30 out there in Vegas. Then everything else is up in the air. You might play Thursday, you might play Friday, you might play Friday and Saturday. It's sort of odd, but they get the winner or loser of, I believe it's TCU Miami.
That is correct.
Is the next
that is
game.
correct.
There you go. So whether they're in the quarterfinal or the consolation, we'll decide who they play on Thanksgiving Day this year, which in the past they've tried to avoid that, but with all the teams this year, they can't apparently. So there you go. And all of Creighton's games, thankfully and mercifully, are at the big arena, the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, instead of no more tiny baby arenas.
Is the tiny baby arena where the horse crap call happened?
That one happened at Michelob Ultra.
Okay.
Yes, not MGM Grand Garden. That was at Michelob Ultra, home of the Las Vegas Aces.
Okay.
That one's inside Mandalay Bay.
Do the Golden Knights play in a different arena?
This is the Golden Knights play at T-Mobile.
Okay.
Yeah, they play at the big one. And that's where Creighton lost in the Crown last year.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
To West Virginia.
Do you think Josh Peterson was pretty fired up? He sees this and he's like, 2 hour show.
No, because I actually thought about Josh first. I think he would have wanted it earlier.
Why is that?
He would have wanted it. He would have wanted like a 3:30 tip.
So he would have only had to do a 1 hour show?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, he's still getting out of there.
Around.
It's a 2 hour show on a Tuesday. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
If anything, he's probably
There's
annoyed
been
there's not a
times-
Wednesday show, so he doesn't get to start his break sooner.
There's been times where it started, it started at 1:30. He's like, cool, I don't have to be in here till 4:00
Yeah.
or whatever it is. But that could have worked out better for Josh. It's a shame. It's a real big shame. All right. That's the schedule news. Glad Joey's awake and ready to go now. Coming up next in studio, we'll talk to Omaha Supernovas coach Chris McGowan about a variety of different things, local athletes, some stuff that they're doing out in the community, coaching staff, reshaping and things like that. We're excited to do that, and we'll have it next on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. It is 9 o'clock. Happer and Schaefer, you're on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, and we're joined now in studio by brand new Omaha Supernovas head coach, Chris McGowan. Coach, thanks for doing this. Thanks for dropping by. What's going on?
Excited to be here. Thanks.
This is fun. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that you are now the coach of the Supernovas.
As am I. Yeah.
Take us through the process of sort of how it came to be and the opportunity for you and what it's been like in the first few months here.
Yeah. So John, Coach Cook, and I have had relationship for maybe over a decade. Kind of started, he and my father. My dad's kind of a legend in the volleyball community as a volleyball coach, and following in his footsteps. And so he and John got to know each other, and then kind of brought me into it. And I've been going out to Nebraska as kind of a consultant, I guess. John, I think one of the things he did best there with the program is he was always trying to learn and always trying to, hey, what else is there? What can we do to be better? And one of the things that he would look at a lot was, hey, what's happening in men's volleyball that we could bring into women's volleyball? And so I'd been primarily coaching college guys at the time, and he would bring me into the program. We'd talk, watch film. Hey, we could do this, we could do that. So he and I had known each other for a long time. And then when he became the GM here, he actually asked me last season, hey, would you be interested in the job? And I'd had some other commitments with my family and just said, hey, I can't. And but maybe come back and see me if the door comes open again. And so when it did, we had a discussion, and I was all in. And it was, I think, just this incredible opportunity to be a part of something really special. This time, this moment, this place. So yeah, it was easy conversation.
He can be kind of convincing.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned the place aspect of it. How much of it was the Nebraska piece, where you have this place where volleyball really matters here in the middle of the country, and people know and care about a lot of these college athletes that then populate and make up the team that you have with the Supernovas and everybody else throughout the league?
Yeah, that was a huge part of it. And just the commitment that the organization has made to being just elite. They want to be the very best franchise in the whole country, in pro sports, really, and so they're doing everything they can to kind of hold that standard. And you see it in the commitment from, the front office, the commitment from the coaching staff. Everybody's all in. And I think, knowing the passion, the kind of knowledge, the education of the fan base here, that was for sure a big part of it.
So,
and
yeah,
the organization, I think, huge. The fan base was, also huge in terms of just, hey, I know what we're rolling into, and it's people that care, like you talked about, people that really understand the game, that are really committed to sports, that are really committed to our organization, to the athletes, and the way they show up, it's incredible. So that was going to be really fun.
Well, you look at it. I mean, speaking of the local flair, there's almost everybody on the roster has like a local tie, and some of that is, Nebraska is such a hotbed for volleyball talent, it seems like, but there's former Creighton athletes all over the place. There's former Nebraska athletes all over the place. How important? I mean, you probably don't know until you really start going, but I would imagine that's something you sort of look for when you're trying to kickstart a franchise and build something. There is already well-established and known athletes on your roster.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it, right? Like, people like to cheer for, they like to get invested in the athletes that they know and that they're familiar with and that they have, some connection to. And so for us, when we started looking at the roster, who do we want? Who can we retain? Who can we go get? Having that local connection was a big thing for us.
Yeah, and it's worked out. I mean, I specifically, Kiara Reinhart last year, completely blew up immediately, and now, to being one of the best. I don't know if that was sort of expected, and then obviously she became one of like the best players in the league last year, and that's just another example of a person. Sorry, I got to get the Creighton love in there. Of course, there's more on the team, obviously as well. But really up and down the roster, and then there's talent from outside of the area as well that people are sort of learning to know and become familiar with.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the fun part for us is the roster top to bottom are full of people that are incredibly committed. These athletes want to be great. They're excited to be here. We were having a conversation with one of our foreign athletes that had received offers in Italy to be bought out of her contract here. They had a need in Italy and they were going to overpay. They were going to buy her out of her contract here. And she said, I turned down the buyout. I want to be here in Omaha. I'm excited for this opportunity. And so just that's the kind of level of commitment that we're seeing from the people that have signed. Yeah.
Is that something that you kind of have to, especially now in your role with the coach and the forward facing, whether you're on shows with this or just talking to the media or what have you, to kind of explain and show like, hey, this is a professional league. Like this is not someone's part-time sort of intramural thing, anything like that. These are people that this is their livelihood. This is what they're training towards. Because I think that always goes to show like there's a seriousness to this. It's not some fly-by-night operation.
No, yeah. And volleyball is turning into big business and it's being run. We're trying to run it like we'd run an NBA franchise. And it's exactly like you talked about. This is the athlete's job. This is their livelihood. And they're like any other athlete. They have a shelf life and they're trying to put as much money in the bank as they can during their time as an athlete. And then kind of, hey, what happens after that? But during their time here, that's all they're worried about is, hey, I'm perfecting my craft. I'm taking care of my body. I'm doing everything I can to optimize these years when I'm a professional athlete and get as much out of it as I possibly can. And as a franchise, we're trying to help them get there. Yeah.
Tell us about the staff that you've built now. There was an announcement this morning about another new addition to your staff. And then, of course, Coach Robson back from last year after he kind of, took the reins for a while. Tell us a little bit about your staff this year.
Yeah. So we just hired Selene Drevnik, and she's a former Brazilian Olympian. She played over in Europe for forever, for probably 17 years. And so just the presence of a female on staff was really important for me. I felt like, we needed to have that. And then somebody that was going to understand just kind of what went into being a pro and kind of the daily grind, and just somebody that was going to have kind of got it, right?
Yeah.
And so she fits perfectly. And she's Brazilian, so she got this passion, she just everything is fired up, and it's just like this Brazilian energy that she brings to the gym and to the conversation. And so we're really excited to have her. And then Thomas, of course, has been killing it in his role. He's a young guy that's really grown fast, bright mind, energetic, knows everybody in the sport. And so we're really excited to have him back as well.
What? Tell me about this Starla's Summer Bash. I see that you guys are having an equipment sale. There's going to be player appearances, some family activities, kind of a wholesome summer thing we got going on here. Coming up in like a week, right?
No, tonight.
Today.
Yeah.
I don't know what day it is.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling coming back from the 4th of July. Even
Yeah,
though
we got it coming on tonight. And it's funny because Starla has taken on a life of her own, right? Like, I think they originally were kind of on the fence about a mascot. Starla,
Right.
I don't know. That has been the best decision that the franchise has almost made, and just Starla, like I said, taking on a life of her own. And so the Summer Bash is exactly what you described. Just we're trying to have kind of a family-friendly event. There's going to be an equipment sale. So, we've got a lot of Supernovas gear there, food trucks, inflatables. Starla's just going to be cruising around. And so just, again, a chance for us to get out in the community, meet people, talk to people, bring your family, and enjoy an evening.
That is tonight at College of St. Mary's Fieldhouse, 5:30.
Yep.
Once they have match-worn jerseys, backpacks, luggage, armbands, shirts, and plenty more. You'll be there. Kiara Reinhart, who we mentioned before, will be there. Allison Holder as well, coming up tonight. So make sure you join out there. I'm curious, Coach, as Coach Chris McGowan's with us from the Omaha Supernovas. You spent some time in League One last year, and what for people at home who were experiencing this professional volleyball boom over the last couple of years, and all of a sudden there's 2 teams to support in Omaha. What are some of the differences or the sort of differentiating factors that you've experienced, if any, between the 2 leagues and sort of how they operate or what they're all about?
Yeah. So I had a great experience in League One. I was down in Austin with the team down there, and great athletes. I really enjoyed working with them. I really enjoyed working with the people there down in Austin. I think the biggest difference I've seen by far is just the ownership models, right? And so MLV, the ownership model is kind of like the NBA, where it's local. It's, we're based in this community, and all the ownership's based in the community. All the events are based in the community. Everything is about this community and the volleyball in Nebraska and the surrounding area. Whereas League One, the ownership model is league centric, and kind of the league controls everything. They are the ones that are making decisions about where players go. And, there's some collaboration, but by and large, you get kind of assigned to a team.
Sure.
And so just the feel that starts to kind of, the difference in the feel is kind of the biggest thing that I've seen. Athletes are great athletes. It's high level volleyball in both leagues. They're playing, it's a very entertaining sport to go to, but just this idea of, hey, this is the community's team versus this is kind of this league overseeing everything else.
And there's no doubt Omaha's
yeah.
embraced it. I mean, Omaha's really embraced both, but I mean, certainly the Supernovas being the first in the scene, and you see the crowds every night. It's certainly been really, really cool to watch.
Yeah.
What's kind of been your experience just getting to know Omaha just a little bit, and spending your time around the community and going at all the different places and learning about what's happening here?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. I've had a little bit of experience with Nebraska, but just the number of people that care and just classic Midwest friendliness, openness, like everybody's been so eager to help, to, what can we do and how you doing? And then just kind of, it's a little shocking how noticeable, I don't know, but just how recognized everybody is out in the community. I think, the day after they announced my hire, I was here, I went into a Starbucks, and the guy there was like, "Hey coach, how you doing? So good to have you."
It's incredible.
And I'm
That's
thinking, holy cow, what's happening here? I'm just this, little volleyball guy, but you're not a little volleyball guy here in Omaha. It's a big deal. And so just the community, the feel that I think I've already felt just from everyone, it's been pretty special.
Well, you mentioned your relationship with John Cook already. I mean, you in order to kind of be in the volleyball community here, you have to have relationships with people at Omaha and Nebraska and Creighton. What's that been like so far, sort of working with all of those schools who are obviously very, very passionate about their volleyball?
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting because we aren't just dealing with the professional league here. We're also dealing with the NCAA because obviously we're drafting kids coming out of that. And so I think we've been thrown a little bit of a curveball with the fifth year thing coming in.
Yeah.
And so teams are having to decide, players are having to decide, do I stay in for another year? Do I come out for the draft? That's been really interesting, and being able to kind of have a relationship with these coaches and kind of getting an inside look at, hey, what are you doing? What decisions are you making? What, are your athletes, what path are they going to go down as far as some of this stuff? It makes a huge difference. And, having those relationships and being able to, not only have those insights, but have them, when they talk to their athletes, go, hey,
this is a place you want to go.
This is a place that you'd feel comfortable.
Right.
And this is a place where you can really kind of explore your top end, right? You're going to take the next step up. And then how good can you be? This is a place where you can start to find that.
What's the mechanics of like how you get prepared for the start of the season? Because you're kind of in your off season right now. Like, when do things really start ramping up for you when you kind of flip that dial for 2027?
Yeah, we're actually negotiating kind of with the league about what they're calling an OTA that would happen in November. December 1st is the report date.
Yep.
But one of the things that's tough is, you got December 1st ramping up for maybe a month, Christmas break, and then you're starting to play in early January. And so we've made it a priority with all our communication with our athletes. Don't come into camp out of shape. We need you in shape. We need you ready to go.
Because it's such a short amount of time.
Short window, and it's just too many kind of residual injuries, just going from 0 to 100, and just it's easy to get hurt. It's easy to get, kind of these nagging use injuries if you're going too fast. And we've got to go fast because we got to get systems in place. We got to, learn some things. And so one of the big communications that we've had, just priorities for us is, hey, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Do everything you can to come in volleyball shape. And it's tough if you're not playing volleyball
Right.
to come in volleyball shape. And so their athletes are all kind of finding ways to do that. And I think the OTA period in November will help a lot. We'll kind of be able to ramp in a little bit, but that's been a big part of the communication. And again, another great part of the Supernovas organization is the number of people on staff that are kind of taking care of that stuff. So we got somebody in strength, we got a trainer, we have somebody in mental strength, we have a nutritionist and a sleep expert. And so all of those resources have been provided to our athletes from the time they signed. And so they're coordinating with all those coaches as well to kind of make sure, hey, I'm working out well, I'm sleeping well, I'm eating well, I'm doing everything to, again, take care of this thing that provides my living.
Right. And this is what, when we were talking about the professional aspect of it, like you're giving your life to be doing this. It's just not some hobbyist thing.
Nope.
That's
exactly.
Such a huge difference when you can get people to realize like what that is.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate you dropping by. Sorry you had to listen to our recounting the Bo Pelini 2010 season before the break.
No, it's great to be here with you guys.
Possibly interesting, though, if you don't.
This is probably just like, these guys are nuts.
No, and so for me, that's just like you guys are into it, right? Like I love people that love sports, and so yeah, even bringing it back from 2009, it's so good.
We'll do this again sometime. Thanks for dropping by.
Awesome, thank you guys.
That is Coach Chris McGowan, the Omaha Supernovas. Once again, Starless Summer Bash tonight at College St. Mary Fieldhouse at 5:30. Little gear sale there, so check that out. And Coach will be there as well. We'll take a quick break and be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go.
Jacob Padilla, Herd at Sports, your source for Creighton hoops and Packers banter. Jacob Padilla on Happer and Schaefer, 1620, The Zone.
And we are joined now on the Prayflower Casino Zone Hotline by our good friend, our dear friend, I'd say, Jacob Padilla from Herd at Sports. Jacob, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Connor. I'm doing all right.
You recover from a long night of summer league?
Yeah, nice to just relax at home yesterday. It was a bit of a trip. We had flew back from Richmond on Sunday, got back about 2:30. So yeah, just relaxed, watch some basketball last night, and not really do a whole lot.
So what happened to Trey? What happened to Trey Alexander? I've seen the video, and it still doesn't make any sense to me how he got taken out on a stretcher.
I have no idea either. So our good friend Joel Lorenzi, I saw like his tweet because he's covering the Bulls now, and he said like, I didn't see what happened, but like Trey Alexander's down and not getting up or whatever. It's like, oh, that's scary. And then actually, I just assumed like maybe like he landed on his like I don't know, like got flipped around and landed on his head or neck or something.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Yeah, and then I saw the actual clip. It was like, what the heck happened? I don't know if like there's some kind of internal injury, like he got hit at just the right spot or something. I was planning to try to check in on that later. Hopefully
I know
he's all right and it's nothing serious. But yeah, it's scary, especially for a guy who's continuing to just kind of try to fight for every opportunity and put himself in a good position to stick around the league.
And then, did you expect that Rink Mast would basically be the MVP of Summer League so far?
Yeah, he's playing really well.
It's been awesome.
The three wasn't really falling early, but then he finally got that to go in addition to everything else he was doing. Unfortunately, he kind of got set up, like served up on a silver platter on the potential game winner there. That was a bit of an emphatic block, but yeah, he's been playing really well, and happy for him. Just obviously with everything that he went through, missing the year and what he had to do to get back to be playing so well right now and set himself up for a future wherever that may be. That's what you love about Summer League, is just seeing these dudes go out there and seize opportunity.
So, Jacob, like calibrate Summer League basketball. This is, I was explaining earlier, it's something I always end up having on because of when it sort of falls during the day, and there's enough interest that I have in seeing some of these former college players play in this setting. But if the NBA is the peak of basketball, and I actually don't even know what would be second, I doubt it'd be the G League, but where, like, how much further down is Summer League better than like a Tuesday night conference game in the best conference of college basketball? Where does it like fall?
Yeah, I mean, it's still, these guys are all professionals. You've got the first round picks in a lot of these games. Obviously, these days they don't play all the games, but
there's not really like coaching aspect to this. Like it's, like that's the part of it that I think gets lost in here, is it's closer to rec ball than it is organized.
Oh yeah, to a certain extent. Like they've got a little bit of time, like they've got little camps or whatever to get ready for this. But yeah, obviously you're not playing with guys you're used to playing with. So from that aspect, yeah, the connectivity, the schemes, like all that type of stuff, that's not involved. So yeah, you don't have defensive game plans focusing on players and taking away their strengths and all that type of stuff, that's kind of where you kind of the difficulty comes in, and the ability to show like how good you really are is when you can kind of, one, if you're good enough to get on the scouting report, and then two, if you're good enough to beat the scouting report and to give teams problems. And that obviously is not present in this, but just in terms of the overall talent. I mean, you've got overseas pros you've got guys that have been in the league that washed out, trying to get back, earning opportunities. You've got the rookies coming in. You've got a lot of G League players. So like, it's definitely like higher level basketball than college basketball. It's just like not as organized, like you said. And, I mean, it obviously doesn't, and that's the thing about Summer League, is you don't really know what to make of it
like they're on certain like the far ends of the spectrum. Like if a guy in his second or third year looks really bad, then that's troubling. If you got a guy in year 2 and just absolutely dominating, like the kind of the too good for summer league thing, is a lot of NBA fans talk about. Is like, oh yeah, 2 games in, you see, yeah, this guy's beyond this level, and he probably doesn't need to keep playing here. He's done all he can here. So those are kind of the 2 spectrums of summer league. Where outside of that, it's like you want to see guys play well, but it ultimately doesn't mean that much because it is just going to be different. Both from the tactical side of things and the talent level once you get to the big club.
Jacob Padilla from Herd at Sports is with us. Jacob, so we talked to you a week ago, and we hadn't had the open period or the Creighton practice yet. So it seems like the maybe main takeaway, I guess, from everybody was, outside of checking to make sure who was there, was that Wes Enos was having a good day. Now you make note of these things and you go on throughout the summer. Is there anything that stood out to you as you think back about a week later now from Creighton's practice?
Yeah, and not even just the shot making for Enos. That's what you expect him to do well. Although it wasn't just spotting up, and like he was creating his own shot quite a bit as well, and he was playing the ball in his hands. And what I liked is kind of how vocal he was. Kind of just the leadership aspect of it. Like they had the ball in his hands. He was kind of orchestrating, like directing guys quite a bit. I mean, there was one point where, who was it? It was Cottrell. Like they're running through a drill and and I can't remember if like Cottrell made a shot or missed a shot and kind of reacted to it. And like Wes is on the sideline, hey, finish the drill. Cause the ball was coming back to him for another shot at the end of it. And it's just kind of remind him, hey, lock back in, you got to finish, like that little stuff.
Love it.
I think that was really encouraging to see. Obviously leadership was, there was kind of a void in that regard last year.
Yeah.
And to see a new guy coming in, obviously he's had a few stops and experienced some different levels of college basketball up to this point, but to see him come in and kind of embrace that right off the bat is really encouraging to see. The backup center situation is interesting, both very different, and we'll see. We've got a long time until they actually set foot on the court to continue working on things and figure out, all right, how are we going to make this work? Because the 2 guys they got are very interesting, and they also, I think, have for different reasons a long way to go to play at this level. Wesley Rosa is just a massive human being, and he moves like he's a massive human being at this point.
Yeah.
So
how many minutes is he going to get?
Yeah, that's kind of, honestly, that's one of the biggest I think things I got to figure out. That'll be one of the storylines going into.
My answer to that question is
preseason.
Jason Green.
Yeah, and that's where I was getting.
I can't even remember what number I randomly threw on it and then stuck with that as if that was a thing. But
it's just Jason Green.
What's the? Sorry, go ahead, Jacob.
Finish. Rosa. He had a few kind of blocks where he was in position just to be really big and get his hand on the ball, and like, okay, situational for a few minutes here and there. You kind of you play drop, you kind of leave him in position to do that. Then you can maybe get a few minutes out of him, but I think he's still developing in every other area of the game. And Trayvon Carter-Givens, I think he's gonna be really good. His wingspan is every bit of that 7'5". Like it's kind of ridiculous, like how long his arms are, but they probably look even longer because of how skinny he is. And it's going to take some time for him to put on enough weight and strength to be able to hold his own. I mean, there was a point where Hudson looks like he's been in the weight room for sure, but he went right through him for a finish in a drill, like he wasn't even there. And that's going to be a problem for your backline rim protector, because that's ultimately probably going to be one of Carter-Givens' biggest strengths early on. So I think they've got 2 intriguing guys for different reasons that have a lot of things to work on. They've talked about how Jason Green's not going to play as much 5. At this point, I still think he is their best option at backup 5, especially if they can do it situationally and not have to do it for 30 minutes. Like you can line up his minutes with maybe if you got a five that you're not as worried about, or maybe their backup five is a little smaller. You don't have to have Jason go out there and match up with 7-footers. Then I think you can make that work. Plus, that opens up some minutes on the perimeter for some other guys that you want to get involved. So that's kind of ultimately where I think we are right now. But we've got a long time until the winter gets here.
Jacob, I know one of the things that Coach McDermott really kind of was hammering last November is that they sort of needed guys to step into leadership roles. And that's one of these things that all of the area teams are going to be dealing with, and really all of college basketball in general. In the transfer portal era, you have players that step into new roles, and you have to have guys who show up as vocal leaders too. Do you foresee that as a thing that is going to be Creighton's going to have to kind of find it just like everybody else? Or do you think Jason Green, after everything that went through last year, sort of is that guy for Creighton as they go forward as the kind of vocal leader?
I think it's a little bit of both. And Huss even talked about like the growth, like how much more comfortable Jason is now stepping into that space after kind of trying to figure it out last year, because it didn't necessarily come to him that easily. It wasn't natural. It's not something he had done previously, but kind of with the mismatch they had last year, he's a guy that's been here and knows what it actually looks like to win in a Creighton uniform, and felt like he had to step up and try to talk about some of that stuff. And so I think he is certainly going to be one of those figures. And now that he's got a full year under his belt of being a legitimate starter and impact player, he's got that added confidence behind him. Like, I can do this. I know what I'm doing. And coming in knowing this is his last year, like, going to give everything he's got. And I think that the guys respect him for what he's accomplished, especially what he played through last year, the guys that are back. I think there's a lot of respect there. And you've got the newcomers coming in. You have to see how kind of that hierarchy shakes out. I already talked about Enos potentially being one of those guys. We'll see kind of what that looks like for BJ Davis, who's another experienced player coming in that's come from a winning program. And that's something that is beneficial. We talked about last year is all those transfers they brought in came from non-winning situations. And that isn't necessarily the case for this class. Guys, a lot of these guys have won before and they know what it looks like. So you're not necessarily starting from ground zero with establishing winning habits like they kind of had to do last year. So I think all of that will come together to put them in a better situation, but we do have to see kind of how these guys step into it. And then when adversity hits, it's easy to talk a big game here in the summer when there's nothing on the line. Yeah. It's when things go poorly or things get challenging, that's when kind of you really need the leadership, and that's when it really reveals itself whether you've got it or not.
Yeah, it's funny, we talked about backup big and we didn't talk about big. How much of a difference noticeably was Oswin sitting in the middle than it was last year going through and watching these similar practices, whether it be at the same time because Owen, didn't come back until October last year or November or whatever it was, or, even as we got into the season.
Yeah. And I think he's still kind of learning about the finer points of where he needs to be positionally, what they're asking him to do, because they are changing their defense a little bit and kind of how they approach it. And it's not dramatic. Like, there's still some of the same. They still want to see some of the same things, but in terms of just being a little bit more aggressive, they need their big man to cover a little bit more ground so they can set some of these traps and try to force some more turnovers. So I think he's still kind of figuring out where to be at all times there. But yeah, you can just see kind of the difference having a rim protector makes. And honestly, maybe the most impressive play I saw at that practice was on both sides. One, Catrell Harmon, that kid's going to be good. But he had kind of a lane to the basket, and he just drove down and he went for it. Like, he was trying to dunk all over Oswin, and Oswin said no. So just clean rejection. I totally respect the ambition of the freshman, but it also is nice having someone that can go and just like, yeah, that's not happening here. Good try, Rook. But and then obviously the lob threat that he's going to be just kind of a guy that's been in the game for a little bit. it's going to make a massive difference. Like that was on both sides, like the backline rim protection that allows you to do so many different things and kind of cover up for some mistakes on the perimeter. And I think there will be fewer blow-bys on the perimeter just based on kind of the personnel they've added this year with a little bit more quickness and ability to guard on ball.
I am excited. This is good. This is good information. I like it. Jacob Padilla from Herd at Sports. You can expect all of that and more over there. And of course on his Twitter account as well. Jacob, always appreciate you stopping by. And oh, darn it, we didn't get to Yannick Sinner winning Wimbledon. I guess we'll have to push that off for next week.
Yeah, no, we'll wait till the next major. We can circle back.
Thanks, Jacob.
All right, bye.
Jacob Padilla from Herd at Sports. Oops. Guess we didn't get to it. Darn.
Hey, good news. You actually turned off the right button for.
Hey, I'm 2 for 2 today, buddy.
You
okay,
did it. You did it.
I'm 2 for 2. Thank you. I don't appreciate your sarcasm.
You get a
Joe.
You
prize.
screw up a thing 1 or 700 times, Joey's always on you.
Hey, there's still times Mike forgets to turn on or off his mic.
Yeah, and he'll let
we
you know
hear about
it.
this every day. Every
I-
single
This is why
I-
Joey keeps us in line. This is
I
good.
pay more attention to Mike than you, Connor.
What do they say? The thing that fans call for every year, they call for where accountability.
Okay.
They say, where is the accountability?
I
And
did-
his name is Joey.
I have thought about that we could put at 9:45, it could be like the old PTI accountability session.
Yeah.
And we run through the things that were statistically wrong or that were screwed up throughout the day.
Oh,
or
1620 the
whatever.
report card.
Yeah,
There we go.
basically, something like that.
That's kind of interesting.
It'd be
actually.
another graphic Joey could make.
I mean, just you got stuff going on. You're always listening. Just jot some stuff down during the show that we did bad.
I do make a lot of documents. That's for sure.
There's a lot of
I do a lot of bookkeeping.
All right. So Stat Boy is going to have what we screwed up, our errors, coming up after this on 1620 The Zone. All right. Final couple minutes here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Get ready to paint the town with love and pride at the Heartland Pride Parade 2026. That is on Saturday at the parade. 1620 The Zone is proud to be one of the radio sponsors for this year's Heartland Pride Parade. Nikki from Sweet 98 is emceeing the parade. So head on down 10 a.m. Capitol Avenue, making its way through the heart of Omaha, all these different things and events going on. You can check out ticket options online at heartlandpride.org. All right, Stat Boy, what did we screw up today? Just kidding. I don't think you have a list yet, do you?
Well, I did screw up today. I accidentally.
You screwed up today.
Yeah, I screwed up today.
You played Harry Carey.
Yeah, I played it a little too early.
Interesting.
The timing threw me off.
I do think
that is my excuse, but I take accountability for that.
This is what we do in July. We produce the show over the air. But really, I do think we have something here. The last segment of the show every day is called accountability.
I like it.
I remember it used to be when we started the show, we were brainstorming an idea to end the show, and it was, what did we learn from the show? Or this was, it was like an end of the week kind of
thing. And we landed
on
bracket sims.
Yeah, bracket sims, and now
bracket
now
sims are pretty great.
Now it's accountability.
Not gonna lie. So Steve Balboni did not win the 1985 home run derby.
That's
one of the things that was said today that was not accurate.
Nor did he
Audubon is
participate.
not 85 miles west of Omaha. It's 85 miles west of Des Moines. Both of these were gifts from our friends at AI, which continues to. We got an I have an opinion already on a Tuesday. I put a star next to it so I didn't lose it.
Yeah, we're flagging that for sure.
And it's related to AI stuff.
It's a good one.
It is a good one. I agree with a lot of what was said there. So
we also got another one regarding air conditioning.
I didn't get it.
I'll save that. Oh, okay.
It just went to you.
It did just go to me, it looks like. It's from Bad Takes
Mike at 1620thezone.com.
Mike at 1620thezone.com. Also, Terry wrote in earlier on about Audubon. Hi, guys. I know it's on the internet, so it must be true, but even Bob Seger knows Audubon, Iowa is east of Omaha. Multiple people mentioned Seeger at that. Did Seeger do a song about Audubon?
So what is it? Is it Turn the Page East of Omaha? Yeah, there's a lyric in there.
Nice.
Dude,
shout out to Seeger, man. Wow.
So Bob Seger is not someone everyone knows Like a Rock. And
not the first song I would think of with Bob Seger.
I think it's one of those songs that because of the truck commercial, you would have it in your head early, or at least in my case. And then it's like I came across all of this other Bob Seger music when I was probably in my late 20s. And then had a very strong Bob Seger face.
Do you think that you could name, now this is from Spotify's top 5 most, I don't know if this is most listened to, it's most popular. It's not most listened to, most popular Seger songs. They do double as the 5 most listened to, 5 most played. Would you like to guess? Or do you feel comfortable with this?
Well, I'm sure Kathmandu is not one of them.
It is not.
Is Like a Rock one of them?
No, it's not.
Okay. Just go with it.
Number one for me, is Night Moves for sure.
Night Moves is a great song.
Which is the number one, but it's the second most listened to. Are we going to end up doing
Bob Seger songs as a tiers list at some point?
No.
We very well could.
How am I going to make a graphic for that?
That is going to, I would have way too many songs, I think. I'd have
there's a lot of
15
options.
to 20 songs.
There's a sneaky lot of options. So Night Moves, Old Time Rock and Roll, Against the Wind, still the same. Hollywood Nights, top
still
5.
The same. So good.
How about Where's the Rambling Gambling Man?
Yep, that one's great. Fire Lake.
What a guy. Shout out to Seeger, man. Can you hear any Seeger on Yacht Rock?
Seeger's not really Yacht Rock.
I know, but we sometimes stretch it.
Yeah. There's been a bunch of unique songs on there.
But we like it.
But it's on there. I would think.
Jimmy says Zach Brown Band mentions Lincoln. Yes, at a truck stop diner just outside of Lincoln.
Is it Colder Weather?
Colder Weather.
Yeah,
that is
great song.
Okay, wow, that's what we. I don't remember what I screwed up today. My take about drums.
Well, you didn't screw it up. You have a take.
I flawlessly executed the take.
Yeah, it's a terrible take, but what are you gonna do?
Accountability. We need more of it on my side tomorrow.
You're gonna make more mistakes.
I need to make more mistakes or have more accountability for
My
saying
accountability
mistakes.
was blaming the internet instead of
Some
doing better fact
accountability.
checking.
Trusting Al.
All right, that'll do it for us today. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Thanks for listening today. The crossover is coming up next.